Hi everyone, this is Sagar Shah and I'm here for the live commentary of Nihal Sarin taking on Anatoly Karpov. This is going to be a fantastic match, a battle of generations. We have Nihal Sarin on one end, the 15-year-old, taking on the legendary 12th world champion of chess, Anatoly Karpov. So what's going to happen? It's going to be exciting to follow. Nihal has the white pieces in game 1 and the game has already begun. So Nihal has started off with the move knight to f3 and Karpov is playing with the black pieces here and he's played knight to f6 taking on the legendary. So, guys, keep your comments flowing in the live chat. I'll be taking on the questions. We have a lot of people here who are joining in. We have just a shout out to all the people here: Pradeep Kanetkar, Raviraj Jadeja, Omkar Brahmabhat, Debashrita Nag, Ronak Banerjee, Atharva Kokje, Akash Dalvi, Arnav Chess Channel, Loganathan, Shanu Gaur, Mrinal Shah, Rolreg Garcia. Great. So I'm sure there will be people from a lot of different places joining in to witness this battle. There will be two games of 25 minutes plus 10 seconds increment rapid. Nihal with white in game number 1 and Karpov will have white in game number 2. And we will also have two blitz games of 5 plus 3. So this will be extremely interesting to follow. Let's get going on the game and see what's going on. So Nihal has played knight f3, Karpov followed it with knight to f6 and then came d4. So d4 was played over here, and Nihal and Karpov both have sort of similar styles of play, so it's going to be interesting to see who's able to get an opening edge. After knight d4, e6 was played by Karpov, and Nihal went for very solid approach playing the Cole system. He's been playing the London system quite a bit in his previous rapid matches in France, but this time he goes for e3 and Karpov went for the move b6. So this is Karpov's favorite way to play against the Cole system. When he was in his prime, he used to do the same. Even now, bishop d3 was played by Nihal, and yeah, I'll talk about this position and this opening in much depth, but what I would like to ask all of you is, what do you think, who do you think is the favorite here? So we have rapids 25 plus 10, two games, and blitz 5 plus 3. So who do you think is the favorite? Would be interesting to know. So let me know in the comment section. For the live stream, we do not have the players' videos as such, but we'll be discussing moves over here. And Karpov has moved his bishop to b7. Now, as you answered about my last question, I would like to say that when I was preparing from black side against this opening, which is the Cole, you get your knight to f3, pawn d4, e3, bishop d3, and now, okay, maybe Nihal will go c4, but it's also quite possible that he will put his pawn on c3, which is a very solid approach to play. And Karpov usually loved to play c5 and then put his bishop on e7, castles, and then at the right moment he would take ed and play d6, knight d7. This is how Karpov played many of his games. Sometimes he would also put his knight on c6. So okay, so we have some answers. Malo Mehta says Nihal. In fact, a lot of people say Nihal, and I also feel that Nihal, with his age being on his side, is the favorite. But Pradeep Kanetkar says Karpov, and yeah, I guess one and half is what a lot of people say. Nihal will score the win, but having white pieces in game number 1, it's important for Nihal to start off solidly. and maybe start off with a win here. So Nihal has castled in this position, and he's keeping his options open whether to play his pawn to c3 or c4. He will decide this in the times to come. uh, One more question, that one more point which I would like to mention is Nihal has played 14 rounds of rapid chess, and then he played two games of semifinals against Alexei Sarana, while Karpov hasn't played anything, until now. So, of course, Nihal would be a bit tired. He's young, but he's tired. So, in a way, uh, the age factor might not be such a big thing here, especially because only 4 games are going to be played. That's hardly like 2 to 3 hours of chess. Okay, so what has Karpov done? After bishop to d3, sorry, castles, he's thinking for his move here. And I would say it's also very brave of Karpov to, take on this match, because in a way he's facing really one of the strongest prodigies of the modern chess era, and to play against him, it's not easy. But Karpov has taken up this challenge, and it's really commendable. Okay, Pradeep Kanetkar says, I said Karpov because he has a lot of experience. Yes, that's true. But when it comes to chess, Nihal is in touch. He's playing so many tournaments. He has such good opening preparation. Uh, it might be of at least some advantage there. But I was thinking that because he's facing Karpov, he could have gone for sharper lines starting with 1 e4, like he did in the World Cup. He was playing against Corey George, and to play this way, it means that you are taking away the opening sort of phase from the game, because Karpov can just develop his pieces very simply in this. And he played bishop to e7. Interesting. And Nihal went c4. So Nihal didn't go for the Cole setup. He went c4. He wants to play his knight to c3. And suddenly we are in Queen's Indian territory now. So if you look at it, if we go by this move order, d4, knight f6, c4, e6, nf3, b6, e3, bishop b7. Here, a better move like bishop d3 could be played, but knight c3 is usually gone. And then bishop e7 would not be such a great idea, because d5 can be played, block, kind of cutting off this bishop. But in this case, what has happened is when Nihal went with this move order, he's already castled. So actually Karpov can castle here, and then when he goes knight to c3, you can simply play d5, stopping white from going d5 in this position. Because let's assume that you make some move like c5 here, then d5 becomes quite strong. Take, and you don't really want to pick up this pawn, because after bishop h7, king h7, queen d5, white has a good position here. So, but black can just go d5, and I think he has a very fine position. It's just a normal game, and this is exactly what has happened. So I was right. Uh, Karpov played castles, and Nihal went knight c3, and he replied with d5. Okay. So, okay, let's take some questions here if you have any questions. Is this live or recorded live, says Shrikant Chilikala? This is live, happening right now. Nihal is making these moves as we talk. Omkar Chakradev says Nihal is going to have a hard time against Karpov. Wow, this is quite a bold statement. Omkar, could you tell us why? This is interesting. Vishnu Prasad says in 2003 Karpov defeated by Carlsen. Then he went on to become the world champion. Can history repeat itself? Well, why not? At that point Karpov was 13, Nihal is 15. So this is quite a possibility. Now Nihal is thinking for his move here. He has some choices. I think the most normal way would be b3, putting his bishop on b2 seems pretty logical. The other idea, what could be done here? I mean, a move like queen e2 looks pretty normal. I would also ask you guys to think about what you would play here. So some moves, suggestions from your end would be most welcome. What is Karpov's rating right now? If I'm not mistaken, then Karpov's rating, rapid rating is 2617, or maybe his classical rating as well, and Nihal's is 2610. So that's the move. Well, Nihal has gone for a very concrete approach here. He took on d5, and after ed, he's played his pawn to b3. Interesting, because the bishop on b2 doesn't really have such a big scope. It's hitting the pawn. Why would you want to develop your bishop there? But in a way, it also puts additional support on the e5 square, so that the knight can later on jump in to e5, and then white could cement it with f4, and then this bishop here could start becoming powerful. Also, black's usual idea is to go c5 in such structures, so the bishop on b2 after taking on c5 could become very active. So, lot of arrows here, but this is the main idea. uh, okay, Aditya Masoor says Karpov can be positionally strong but will miss on tactics. True. Right now it's a very positional battle on the board, so not really sure, but I'm sure tactics will come up very soon. Okay, now let's look at it, what Karpov did in this position. He's thinking for his move after b3. So right now, as few of the players have suggested, few of the people, knight e4 is a possibility, bishop b2, and then play f5. Yeah, in general, f5 is not a very ideal move that you want to play in such positions, because first of all you weaken the e5 square, and then the light squares become slightly weak. So I don't like this move f5 that was suggested, but maybe something like c5 is definitely a possibility in such positions, playing solidly. Okay, let's say Atul Tripathi says Karpov is extremely experienced chess player. Nihal cannot beat him at all. Okay, that's an interesting point of view. Kidas Maleki says, do you think Karpov can at least hold a draw against Indian talent? Well, we are going to see whether that's going to happen today or not. But for me personally, I feel Nihal is the slight favorite in this match. Okay, what about the timings right now? Nihal has 21 minutes, 58 seconds, and Karpov has 21 minutes, 7 seconds. So it's Karpov who's thinking for his move right now, and still plenty of time. So, okay. So here, yeah, we have to decide on how black should continue in such positions. I would say after b3 that was played by Nihal, c5 is surely an option, and this leads to, let's say, after dc bc, hanging pawns kind of a structure, and after bishop b2, it's a very typical position. And you know Yeah, so hi everyone. I guess we are back online. I'm sorry for the technical glitch. I'm at a new location right now, not in my home in Mumbai. So there are definitely some issues related to the internet, but I hope that we will be not facing them anymore. Sorry for everyone who was following here and not knowing what was happening. Okay, so we have a few moves on the board. Karpo went knight to e4, so we haven't lost much of action here, and Nihal played bishop b2. So we reached this position. I hope that you can follow the live analysis now. Just in case you can, uh, just let me know that you can follow me. Okay, so it's Karpov's move now, and yeah, we were looking at f5 here, which is not a great move according to me. c5 is another option, or maybe Karpov can play knight d7, uh, getting his other knight to c6. It's definitely a possibility, and that's what he did. And Nihal went rook to c1. The times on the clock right now are Karpov has 14 minutes while Nihal has 17 minutes. So that's a small edge in time for the youngster, definitely. Yeah, let me know if you are able to. I'm just not able to figure out if you guys can are getting my moves and commentary going here. But in case if there is any issues, please let me know. So rook c1, and now Karpov is once again thinking for his moves. Well, in a way, Nihal has no particular threat as of now. He might want to play some ideas like knight e5 at some point. I guess that's the most natural way to continue in this position. Okay, so everything is fine. Thanks for all of you informing me. Thank you, Ronak Banerjee, Somnath Chatterjee, Nihal Shah. Okay, one question by Manik Sharma is, could you explain why Karpov played knight to d7 here and not knight c6? Okay, good question. I think first of all, knight c6 just loses a pawn because now your bishop is no longer controlling the e4 square. Even if it did not, this knight is misplaced. You need your knight on d7 to be able to play c5. That's the point. So knight d7 is logical. Also, the knight could move to f6 at some point, and it would be a normal way to play. Okay. Shatanik is here. He says it's fine now. Shatanik, who is going to write a report on this game. So please follow the chessbase.in website for the report tomorrow. He's going to write about this game. King's Play says, I'm your big fan. Please say my name. Well, King's Play, that's what your name is. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, okay. So, what's the new move? After rook c1, Karpov has played knight df6. Normal play. You see Karpov, how he's putting all his pieces to good squares as of now. And Nihal has to think whether he will just continue this sort of maneuvering game with queen e2. I think this is a common move, and also the idea can be to play your bishop to a6. And once you can get rid of this bishop, although it's a bad bishop, you can say it's being blocked by this pawn here. Still, the light squares would become slightly weak. And that's why this is a very common idea. Queen e2 and trying to exchange that bishop. What else? I mean, I'm always in for this move knight to e5 because I think it sort of starts some kind of an action. You want to maybe sometime play f4 later on. Although here it doesn't seem so great with the knight here. But maybe you want to push the knight away with f3. So it's definitely an idea. What will Nihal choose here is a question, and Nihal went for this interesting plan, knight to e2. Okay, that's an interesting move. Uh, yeah, queen c2 is something that could be played, but it doesn't make sense. As Srinivasa Prasanna said, queen c2, you're not threatening to take on e4, and somehow the queen looks misplaced here on the c file. I would rather put it on e2 somehow, but it's a possibility. Now knight e2 was played, and Nihal has two ideas. One is that he could put his knight to f4, and then his rook is on the c file, and the knight is putting pressure here. The other idea could be to go knight g3, although I'm not so sure if he wants to do that, but then get his knight to f5. Okay, so Karpov has to think now, and Karpov is down to 13 minutes while Nihal has 16 minutes on his clock, and Karpov is thinking about what to do. If Nihal can win this game, by playing this style of chess, which is positional chess, that would be very interesting because he's right now doing not much. And I remember this game against Corey George where he was black and they were both moving around. Corey was playing moves like rook c1, rook e1, bishop f1. Oops, bishop f1 like this. Then somehow, he was making all weird moves. And Nihal was very comfortable. He played all the moves, little moves here and there. And after a point, he got a winning position, much better position. So, and recently I interviewed Dmitry Komarov, who is Nihal's trainer until the beginning of this year, GM from Ukraine, and he said that Nihal is stronger in positional chess than than Magnus Carlsen, and I told him, "Are you joking? Magnus Carlsen, he's the world champion. Nihal is of course talented, but just 2600." And he somehow was just sure that Nihal is better at positional chess than even Carlsen, and this surprised me coming from a grandmaster trainer who said this way. Maybe he was a bit inobjective or non-objective about it, but still it just shows how strong Nihal is as a player. Okay, let's see what Karpov has played. I think he's still thinking, which is quite a lot of time he's taking for his move here. Um, yeah, he's still thinking for his move, and after knight e2, let's take some questions. Idea is knight f4 and also another knight to d4, play f3. Yeah, knight f4 is definitely an idea of this move. Ng3 threatening, okay, Ng4 is what is suggested by, who is it, Srinivasa Prasanna. He says the idea is to play knight into f2, rook into f2, knight into e3. Yes, but even if you get this, let's say I pass the move, I say I don't, let's say I don't really want to make a move here in this position, and it's your move again, so you take and take, still it's nothing. Yeah, like I can just play queen d2 and it seems like white is better. You just gave up a piece, so I don't think that is the idea here. And Karpov in this position has made his move here. Yes, he went c5, and the times are right now, Karpov has 9 minutes to Nihal's 15. Wow. Okay, so Nihal is now thinking for his move. c5 has been played, so already a bit of a commitment here by Karpov, and you can see how this bishop on b2 suddenly starts making sense. uh, I would definitely like to put this knight on f4, putting pressure here, but it's a question now whether Nihal wants to take on c5 or not. So uh, well, there is some audio issue is being mentioned. Is everything okay? So if any of you are facing audio issue, please let me know. um, okay, so Nihal, well, if Nihal takes on c5, how will Karpov recapture? This is a question by Anand Sivaraman. Well, I would say he should take with the pawn, because if he takes with, let's say, the bishop, then after knight e d4, this is just really very comfortable. I mean, this knight is great on d4. Okay, so some people are saying audio, there is an issue with the audio. Some people are saying audio is fine. Let me just check now if okay, audio maybe now is okay. Please let me know. Okay, so I would like to give a shout out to Winnie64 the King, who's donated 20 rupees through the super chat. Thank you so much, Winnie, for supporting this live broadcast. It's very kind of you to do. If anyone would like to do that, please you can do that. There's a dollar sign below uh, on the live chat, and you can do it with that. Okay, so let's see what Nihal has played. He's not yet made his move. He's thinking. I think both the players are a little bit unsure facing against each other. One is a legendary player, 60 plus years old. Other is a 15-year-old boy. They both are not really very much confident right now. I think in the second game they'll start playing more quickly. Right now they are taking their time. Okay, yeah, Rahul Girish Kumar brought up a very nice point here. He says in 96 Lausanne, a well rested Karpov took on a tired and exhausted young Indian GM. And here we have Karpov taking on a tired but even younger Indian GM. Exactly. You remember Anand, he qualified through knockout system to play Karpov in the finals of Lausanne. And he was going to play 6 game match over there, and I think the score was 3-2, and Anand had to win the last game. He went for the Trompowski and he won it. I think later in tie breaks he lost. And, many people said, Karpov was so fresh, he didn't have to go through this entire knockout system. Once again, we see that Nihal, who played through all these rapid games, and now suddenly is facing Karpov, who's well rested. But I think 2 rapid games and 2 blitz is not too much. Like 6 classical games was a lot. Okay. Right. Okay. So one more shout out to 007 Mamba one, who's contributed 40 rupees. Thank you so much for doing so. Feels great that you are contributing towards this live chat. Okay. Now let's see what Nihal has played. Any moves that have come up? Not yet. Nihal is still thinking about what he needs to do in this position, and I think he's just made his move. He's played his knight to g3. Interesting. Nihal has his own ideas in this position. He doesn't want to take on d4 right now. He's played his knight to g3, and well, the idea could be simply to play knight to f5 and win the 2 bishops. If you can win the e7 bishop, that's already some nice advantage for white. Okay, so yeah, d into c5 says Oliver Toth. Yes, this is a good move. You could have played it here. Nothing wrong with it. But in a way, black will either take. He cannot push because that loses a pawn. So your bishop will anyway open up at some point. And Nihal prefers to go knight to g3. Well, maybe Karpov can take this, and then Nihal would take with the h pawn. And this is quite possible. Maybe put the other knight on e4 after that, or rook c8. Black can play in many different ways. Okay, Karpov here played rook c8, or maybe first he took on g3, or did he play? Yeah, he first took on g3. This is exactly what happened, and he played rook to c8, and Nihal played queen e2. So both players starting to move a little bit quicker now, and the time is Karpov with 9 minutes. Nihal is down to 11 minutes. Queen e2. Okay. Yeah, maybe bishop a6 is an idea. I was thinking if a move like bishop f5 is a possibility here, because if you go rook c7, I can take, and then maybe bishop e5, somehow harassing this rook here. I don't know, even rook c6 is a possibility here. So it seems okay, or maybe you can just play bishop to d6. But with every piece exchange, I think black's position starts to lose a bit of its dynamism. But here I think, of course, black is doing much okay. So shouldn't be a problem. So Nihal didn't go for it. He just simply played queen to e2. And yeah, Yash Srivastav says queen e2, rook c2, rook c1. Yeah, maybe you want to double on the c file, or perhaps I would prefer putting the rook on d1 here. Just putting pressure on this pawn here. You know, at some point you could take, play the bishop to a6, and then d5 is under pressure because you're always threatening to, you know, take on f6. So I would say Nihal has some pressure here, definitely, but Karpov has huge experience playing such positions. You know, he's a master of such positions. He's played it so many times. Rook to c7 was played by Karpov, and now rook fd1. As you can see, Nihal playing very solidly right now, not trying to do anything special, just getting his pieces to the central squares. Also, rook c7 was sort of prophylactic in nature, because if you now play bishop a6, I could avoid the bishop exchange with just bishop a8. The rook is no longer hanging on c8. It's funny, like how a bad bishop is being, you know, sort of trying to exchange. But you can look at it this way: if I take, yes, I got rid of my bad bishop on b7, but suddenly the queen is well parked, it's attacking a7, and then the rook would come in, then the d5 pawn starts to get a little soft with the bishop no longer on b7. So, you know, a bad bishop could often be controlling good squares, and you need to keep it. Okay, so rook fd1 was played, and Rol Reich Garcia has contributed 2 euros. Thank you so much, Rol, for doing this. We already had 3 contributors today, feeling great that so many people are supporting this initiative, the live commentary of Nihal versus Karpov. By the way, there's a lot to learn from Karpov's handling here. He's played queen to c8. Interesting. You know, I was thinking, why rook c7? Was it a prophylactic move? Well, the point was he wants to play queen c8 and perhaps get the rook here. And who knows, many times in such structures, after you put your pawn on h6, the queen can stand really well on e6 square. And this is what perhaps Karpov wants to do. I somehow feel that this position is what Karpov feels really comfortable in. He's played such things in his career, and Nihal would have to think about his moves quite a bit more than Karpov. Okay. Oliver Toth says, greetings from Hungary. Wow, that's good to hear that, Oliver, you are coming in from Hungary. What happens if white plays king h2 and rook h1? Okay, interesting question. Is the open file h file of any use to attack here? I would say no. King h2 doesn't make any sense. You could always check like this and push the king back. But even if you don't and you get your rook to h1, then come back. If I just play the move h6, even it doesn't seem like you can do much in that position. It's an interesting idea, but okay, first of all, king h2, knight g4 is just good for black. So what did Nihal do here after queen c8? He's still thinking for his moves. Kaustub Kesarwani says, I like your commentary. Thank you so much. A lot of people have been asking me, how are you getting the live moves? Well, I'm getting it from the live broadcast. They are putting it up on their official website, I think capeshex.com, so you can have a look over there. Yeah, ne5, is it good for white or not, says Anish Gadiwan. I think ne5 is a very logical move. Definitely doesn't look bad at all. But right now, Nihal is thinking, what exactly should I do? This is a position where you need to keep maneuvering a bit for your moves. It's not so clear what you want to do. So Nihal is thinking right now, what would be the best way to continue? And he has a few options. Let's try to see if any of you can play like Nihal. What's your plan? I think one move was knight e5, that was suggested by Anish Gadiwan, and Emmanuel Garisab is here from Namibia. Emmanuel, great to see you in the live chat. He was at the World Youth in Mumbai from Namibia, coach over there, and it's so nice that you are here listening to this live. Okay, any five. Ishan Deshpande says BD6 is possible. Yes, it's possible, but I mean, just a normal position over here. Rook c2 was played by Nihal. Anyone who suggested Rook c2? Jivan Chandra Pant said Queen c2. Well, Rook c2 is what Nihal played. And here, idea is of course to double on the c file for white, and yeah, just play his. There are so many different ideas here. Like say Poonam Jadhav says 95, good idea. There is also someone who said DC5. There's someone who said knight h4, knight f5. Yes, I mean there's so many different possibilities. You're understanding how this structure is so rich. I mean, lot of things can be done. Nihal chooses for this idea where he's going to double the rooks on the c5. I would like to give a shout out to Shyam Krishnan, who's contributed 250 rupees through live chat. Thank you so much, Shyam, for supporting this live commentary. And if any of you would like to contribute to the live towards this, there is a dollar sign next to the live chat. You can contribute to it. It's called the super chat. It would be very nice if you do that. Okay, thank you, Shyam. Now, here rook c2, Karpov, I guess, is going to put his rook on d8. When Karpov was in his prime, he would just make normal moves. He would play simple, good moves, and then his opponents would go wrong. But somehow, Nihal's style is also the same. So it's very interesting to see who will make the first step towards going wrong. And let's look at it. Yeah, still Nihal is now down to 6 minutes. Karpov is thinking for his moves. And yeah, well, Black is thinking, Omkar Chakradev says NG4. Yeah, but what's the knight doing there? Maybe you want to do something like Queen E6, Queen H6. Interesting. I think it's a possibility, but maybe Karpov wouldn't do a thing like that, putting his pieces on that. I think there's still going to be some kind of a maneuvering struggle here. It's not going to be something very obvious that will happen very quickly. Queen e6, as we rightly said, I had mentioned this. The e6 square is a good square for the queen, and that's where Karpov places his queen. And next, maybe knight e4. Put the knight there. Yeah, I think Nihal has to come up with something now. Maybe rook c1, just normally he can do b4, perhaps opening the rook file. Yeah, maybe b4, but then that just met with c4, so not possible. h6, queen e6. Yeah, I mean h6 or g6. You need to decide on where you want to keep the pawns. But now it's white to move. Nihal's turn once again. I guess bishop a6 will be met with maybe just going back on a8. I think white will just go rook c1 and just keep going. As Emmanuel Garissa rightly pointed out, I hope that there will be some tactics at the end of this positional struggle. Yeah, a lot of people here would be thinking, how much are they going to maneuver? Is something going to, some concrete stuff, is it going to happen or not? Well, when you're going to play against Karpov, well, it's not going to be something really obvious. But that's what I was saying. When Nihal opened the game with knight f3 and just playing this Cole system with e3, and then I somehow felt he should have gone for e4. This is not what you do against Karpov, but well, who am I to judge? Okay, one more here. Contribution. Srinivasa Prasanna has contributed 250 rupees. Thank you so much, Srinivasa. This is really very kind of you. Uh, and well, we have had 4 contributors today, so thank you so much for supporting the live chat. All of you who would like to contribute can do so from the comment section. Okay, now knight g5, yes, it attacks the queen for sure, but then it places the knight on not such a pleasant square on g5. So I can maybe move my queen away, say to d7 here, maybe possible, or maybe just go back here, or even think about exchanging the queens with queen to g4 perhaps. So but this is bad, yeah, because then you have tactics like bishop h7, or just take here, and bishop h7 happen. So I'm not very sure if this is a good idea, but maybe Karpov just moves back. Okay, what did Nihal do here? Nihal is thinking, will he go for knight g5, which starts some kind of a tactical ideas in the position. Yeah, someone said bishop h7, hoping for king into h7 and then this fork. Well, Karpov isn't going to fall for that. He'll take with the knight. Uh, but when you look at such things, your eyes should light up. Yeah, something like this is happening. For example, as we saw here, maybe this works now. Just the knight is over extended, in this position. But even still, it's not so obvious what's happening in that position. Okay, so what happened in the game? Nihal has played knight to g5. Guys, this is interesting. So Nihal, maybe we are looking at some kind of tactics flowing in now. So get ready. Knight to g5. And if the black queen moves now, I'm looking at queen g4, because I was thinking, if you take now, I go king h8. Okay, I'm not taking your bishop because my queen would hang. And now if I take, knight takes, now there's an attack on this knight and also here. So maybe bishop f5 possible, so that if you take here, I take back. But then maybe black could go knight e3, just considering certain possibilities. Knight f7 maybe is not possible here. Fe, bishop g5, it's complex here. So I think queen g4 is not such a bad move, should be considered here. Queen g4, but I don't think Karpov is going to go in for some tactical possibilities, because once you land in tactics, somehow maybe he'll just move his queen back to c8 and say, okay, why did you play here? But then Nihal could suddenly start thinking about dc5, bishop into f6, bishop into h7. Well, what's happening? So maybe Karpov is sort of forced here to do queen g4. Who knows? Shyam Krishnan, thank you so much once again for contributing 100 rupees via super chat. Thank you. That was wonderful. Srinivas Prasanna says white is better 1.45. Okay, I was not looking at the engine, but well, now that you tell me, I know something is happening. I would suggest here, as I had mentioned before, queen e6 is a good square for the queen. But if h6 would have been inserted and then queen e6, could have been much better way to play. But queen e6, and Nihal actually, instead of just doubling, he found this idea knight g5, and now let's look at some tactics. Okay, so Karpov knows that queen c8 may be bad because of takes, and then suddenly you take here, and then h7 starts to hang in this position. So he will be thinking, okay, I think I've made some mistake. Let me think about queen g4. And here, um, uh, the interesting line is definitely this. Okay, and we need to understand what's going on here. Are there some tactical possibilities that we are missing, because two pieces are attacked, and what do you do? Like, can you play bishop f5 here, knight e3, and then someone suggested that knight f7, but then rook f7 comes in, and then suddenly the bishop is attacking here. I don't know if bishop e6 here. No, this doesn't look so good. So yeah, time is a big factor here. Karpov played queen to c6. Oh my god, this is not looking good. He's down to 2 minutes. He's down to 2 minutes on the clock. Nihal has three. Queen c6 was played. I think this is bad. D into c5. What's the plan? Okay, a big shout out to chess lovers for life who've contributed SEK 10. If is SEK Swedish kroner, I don't know. Please let me know in the comment section. But thank you so much for contributing. Okay, queen to c6 has been played, and I think Nihal is going to take on c5. What else? Is there anything else? Are there tactics like take and something like this happening? I don't think so. Queen is controlling the third rank for now. So maybe just okay, but Nihal could also be thinking of ideas like bishop b5 here. But I would prefer to just take and then just take this guy here. Win a pawn. I guess it's a simple pawn. Nothing is happening out of the ordinary. Maybe Karpov has some ideas like d4 here, launching. By the way, people who said I want to see tactics, well, it's come out in big measure here. Lot of tactics happening. Nihal has taken on c5, by the way, and I think Karpov's idea of putting his queen on c6 was to play the move d4 and say I'm checkmating you on g2. So Nihal, how do you defend g2? Maybe just play f3? Yeah, possible, but then maybe h6, pushing the knight away. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, f3, king f2, and knight h7 by Srinivasa Prasanna. Yeah, it's a possibility, but d4 I think is what Karpov may play. No, he took back on c5 for now. He's just taken back the pawn. Hari Krishnan Manikotu, thank you so much for contributing 5 USD. We have had nearly, I think this is 6 contribution today. Thank you. I'm very grateful for all the support that you are giving. Okay, now dc5 was taken, b into c5, and yeah, the question is, can Nihal just take this pawn? After you take, I take on h7. There's a fork here. Oops. And then I'll just take back a piece. I'll be pawn up. Looks good. Looks great. Okay. Let me see. Nihal didn't take first. He played bishop e5. Just putting his bishop and attacking the rook here for time being. Yeah, this is promising for Nihal for sure. The rook has to move now. By the way, we are down to Nihal having 38 seconds and Karpov having around 1 minute. So it's getting time pressure now, and I think Nihal is definitely a superior player in time pressure. But we cannot discount any possibilities. You remember how Nihal had blundered under a lot of pressure against Eltat Safarli. Could happen again, not sure. Um, yeah, even someone said that bishop f6, bishop f6, bishop h7, king h8, and queen h5. Yeah, why not? Yeah, this could also have been quite possible, because I guess the point is that here bishop g5 works. because if you move the bishop, then bishop h6 comes in. There's no good discovered attack. This is what maybe Nihal didn't like. So first he went bishop e5, just testing what will Karpov play. And I think Karpov went d4 in this position. And then Nihal said, okay, I'll come back to f3. Now it's suddenly not so clear. We have to start moving quickly. DE, queen e3 was played. Knight g4. I think Nihal has played it a bit too safely here, because mm, I don't know. Queen f4. He took on e5, queen e5, and well, from all these tactical possibilities, I think Black is doing completely okay now. Just play bishop f6. It looks good, or no? Am I missing something? I think Nihal just went wrong somewhere. Karpov still has 1 minute 25 seconds. Um, and Nihal is down to 20 seconds. I would like to give a shout out to Shyam Krishnan, who's contributed 150 rupees, saying, great work, Sagar. I'm impressed. Thanks a lot for contributing. Shyam, um, yeah, today a lot of people have contributed via super chat, and I can only say I'm very grateful. Thanks a lot for doing this. It motivates me to do this more often. Okay, queen into e5 was played, and then rook d8 by Karpov, and Nihal played rook d2. I think Nihal was not able to take his chances, and now we are here in a position where white has a slightly superior structure. He can place his bishop on c4, but black has the bishop pair. So could be that the position is sort of dynamically equal, unless I'm missing out on some tactical possibilities, but otherwise looks okay. Yeah, okay, so we will come to we'll analyze this game once it's over, but right now let's try to follow the live moves that have been played. G6 was played by Karpov, preventing some bishop into h7 ideas. And in general, he has a dark squared bishop, so he's not afraid of creating dark squared weaknesses in his position. Okay, some moves, some pieces have been exchanged here. After g6, Nihal played bishop e4, rook, now rook d2 was played first. Just need to follow the moves. Bishop e4, he took on d2, rook d2. So take here. Of course, you can't take the queen because d1 is hanging with a check. So he took back, queen b6, take on b7, queen b7, and we once again reach a position here. I think Nihal, um, it's Nihal to play now over here, and he's played queen to f4. Yeah, I think this is what he has done, and believe me, I think Nihal is looking at this from a long-term perspective. He wants to go knight e5, put his knight on c4, and tell black you are positionally worse. Okay, I'm not too convinced with Nihal's play in this game, but still, I mean, he looks. When your opponent has two bishops, exchange a pair of bishops. So that's what Nihal has done. Queen b6, and now rook to e2. Okay. Okay, queen d6. Well, queen exchange I think favors white. Maybe it's not a great idea, because you take, and I think knight d2, put your knight on c4. This seems like a very good endgame. This is exactly what Nihal has done. Okay, great. Put your knight on c4. It now starts to feel that Karpov is white. Karpov would play such positions. Let's see how Karpov defends it. King f8, knight c4, bishop e7, keeping, and Nihal went g4. This is typical Nihal. G3, he loves milking such positions. Rook d7, king g2, improving his position bit by bit. White is surely the one who's pressing here, for sure, but how easy or difficult it is, that's an open question. Bishop c3, and Nihal is going to move around. Now both players are around having 50 seconds. the position is not so complicated, so time pressure is not going to play a big role here. But I guess Nihal will play f4, maybe try to get in g5 if possible, get his king f3, rook h2 perhaps. So Karpov will have some definite problems, and he starts off first with g5. Yeah, why not? Make this pawn into a weakness, convert it into a weakness, and play on this position. Karpov would be looking to exchange a few pawns here. Maybe bg7 with the idea of h6 should be considered. And perhaps Karpov could do that. Or king g7 and h6. Let me see if I am right here. Karpov is thinking for his moves. Equal says people. I mean, if you give this to engine, it may say equal, but definitely, I mean, white should have small edge, no, in such a positions. Okay, rook e7 by Karpov. He believes in this endgame, and I think Nihal will keep his rooks. No point in exchanging the rooks here, because that would make g5 pawn perhaps into a weakness. I mean, you put it on a dark square. So let's look what Nihal does. King f3. Okay, he's okay to exchange the rooks here. Interesting. I'm interested to see how Karpov follows up. Maybe just take on e2 and then king e7. This is one way he could play. That's exactly what has happened. He took and played king e7. And now, yeah, king d3 may be met with bishop e1. Bishop or knight. So guys, here's a test. You know, there's a book written by some player called Steve Mayer who says bishop versus knight. And here, what do you think? Bishop or knight in this position? Nihal goes f4 here. He's placed his pawns on dark squares, yes, but they are not so easy to attack by the bishop in this position. And maybe, you know, his idea could be to just get king f3, king e4. If he can do that and then slowly go g4 and f5, that should be good. Okay, few more moves were played. King e6, king d3. Well, let me just get the move order right. King e6, king d3, bishop e1, g4 and f5 was played. And then so bishop e1, g4, f5, gf, king f6, king e4. So king is more active for white, but black may have the possibility to create an outside passed pawn here with h5. But Karpov doesn't do that. He plays king to e6. These positions are what Karpov is good at. Nihal fixes a weakness on h7 with the move g5. I'm not sure, but perhaps h5 should have been considered here. I don't know how good or bad it would have been. Maybe Nihal would go g5, knight e5 and try to put some pressure here. But okay, king e6, g5. So fixing a weakness on h7, and Karpov goes in this position. Bishop c3, knight e3, a6. Bishop c3, knight e3 and a6. Okay. Maybe draw, yeah, this position. I don't know what is happening. Maybe a draw, maybe some moves. Okay, maybe they are repeating already. Knight e3, a6, knight d5 was played by Nihal here. And knight d5, bishop a5, knight e3, bishop d2, knight c4. Okay, knight e3, bishop a5, knight e3, bishop d2, knight c4. And now over here he went, what is it, bishop c3, knight to e5. So if you take here, of course this is a lost endgame because you would have a passer. So Karpov doesn't really bite the bullet here. He doesn't take, and so he plays bishop a5, knight d3. attacking the pawn on c5. King went to d6, and Nihal to play. So Nihal is definitely pushing still, but has to come up with a plan now, because White King needs to find some occupation. Maybe play f5 and try to get in. And yeah, that's what happened in the game. Um, King d6, f5 was played. Take, King takes f5. Bishop c3, knight f4, and now Karpov started to get a little bit worried that the knight is going to jump in and then pick up this pawn. So he went c4, immediately creating some counter play. Nihal took, king c5. Whew, exciting. Can Nihal beat Karpov in this endgame? It will be interesting to see. King c5 has been played here, and White to move. Nihal thinking now. I think this is a critical moment in the game. What needs to be done is not very clear. Should you play knight d5 to f6? Yeah, maybe that's a possibility. Also, you have to calculate something like knight d5. What happens here in the pawn endgame? I think this is winning for white. So, um, not this. So, yeah, Nihal did play knight to d5 here. In this position, bishop had to go to d2, but this is already some, and he's thinking of sacrificing his bishop on g5, then picking up these pawns. Maybe it could end in a draw, who knows. Knight f6, he took on c4, and now this is a win for Nihal, is suggested by some of the viewers. I'm not sure, because you take here, and now Karpov might sack on g5. Should he sacrifice now, or should he wait for the pawn to move to g6 and then bishop c3? But then maybe white can block with knight f6, so maybe sacrificing right now is a good idea. Karpov thinking now. He is around a minute on his clock, so he's thinking um, for his move. And by the way, all the comments that you're giving, I hope to come back to it later. For now, there's too much happening on the board to look at your comments. He sacrificed it. His take king comes back, and then it can mate with the knight. But okay, the pawn is just too far off. If the pawn was on a3, those are some mating nets with the knight. Okay, what has happened next is he took and played king to b4. So maybe this is just a draw. Nothing special here. Uh, yeah, it looks like a draw. Karpov seems to have escaped somehow in this position, because knight e4, king a3, knight c3, king b2, and yeah, you lose the pawn. If he could somehow magically get his king here, just one tempo away, that would have made it possible. And yes, it's a draw. A draw was agreed. Whew. Wow, what a game. What a game this was. I think, yeah, engines will show many wins for white. I think Nihal pressed really hard, but Karpov stood there. He didn't give up. And hats off to this legend. He has really made it. He achieved a draw in this. Well, maybe just going through the game, I can say some key moments before the next game begins. I think it will start very shortly, the next game. I'm not sure how long before they begin, but maybe it's a 10-15 minute break. So we'll look at the game bit, what happened, and meanwhile we'll wait for the players to come back, and perhaps if there is time, take a short break. Okay, so well, what happened in the game was that after Nihal chose this sort of sedate line with Queen's Indian, Karpov played pretty well. I think the opening phase, he went knight e4. Of course, c5 was a possibility here. He went knight e4, bishop b2, then knight went to d7, and now instead of queen e2, which would have been normal way, knight e2 was played. c5, knight g3, take rook c8. By the way, through this game, I think you learn how to handle the hanging pawn structure. These are known as hanging pawns from both sides. Okay, so queen e2, rook c7, rook f d1, queen c8. And I like this move by Karpov, by the way. His idea was to put his queen on e6, which is a good square for the queen. Rook c2, and what I didn't like now was immediately queen e6, because it started some tactical operations which was very favorable for Nihal. Maybe h6 followed by queen e6, and I think black should be very happy with this position. Okay, it's a draw, by the way, for all the people who are right now here and just joined in. First game ended in a draw. Queen e6, knight g5, queen c6 was played, and here I'm sure there's something happening. Okay, take, and Karpov could have gone d4 here. I'm not sure as to what's happening here in this position, but maybe f3 perhaps, no, f4 maybe. Yeah, this could be a possibility. And this was, but Karpov took on bc, and here Nihal played bishop e5. But my question is, what happens if I just take here? Is it so bad? What is happening? Like if you now play queen f6, I think just knight h7 looks powerful. Even bishop h7 could come in. So you take back bishop f6, and then I take this. And why did Nihal go for this? I mean, any suggestions uh, for this? You know, I thought that this should have been really good for white, this way to play. I'm sure that Nihal was slightly under pressure here. Otherwise, I think he would have found the way. Of course, we did calculate take and queen h5, but then after bishop g5, it seems like black is doing fine. Okay, why didn't Nihal take on c7 instead of taking on? Yeah, it's another question. Like in the game, he played bishop e5, and then d4. He went knight f3. And now after take, he could have just taken here, but then maybe Karpov takes here, queen f2, and then queen c7. And once again, we have a position where maybe Nihal felt like it's not the best to play in this less time position. He just thought, I'll stay solid and take on e3. But this is what I felt, like Nihal was a little bit indecisive in his game, and that's what created certain issues. So I think from here on, black should be around equal, but still Nihal got his chances in this endgame somehow, with this beautiful knight on c4 against this bishop. And he did press. I think he didn't press in the most accurate fashion. Maybe here g5 was a bit rushed. He could have gone f4 perhaps, but then rook d3 comes in. So yeah, king f3, f4, and yeah, this was an interesting end game. I was considering a move like h5 here, but and here white did have his chances, but I think Karpov defended admirably here. Uh, this move c4, nice pawn sacrifice, giving back the pawn to activate the king, and at the right moment he took, and now the king came to b4, a3 to take the pawn. So yeah, c4 was a good move by Karpov, giving back this. Okay, I guess we'll meet again in some time when the second game begins. I am not sure as to what time, but it should begin in a few minutes from now. So until then, thank you so much for joining in. And by the way, a big shout out to all the people who contributed via super chat. There were, I think, 7 of you who did that. Thank you so much. But what we are looking forward to is now one more rapid game with Nihal having the black pieces, and then two blitz games of 5 minutes plus 3-second increment. So stay tuned, lot of action coming up, and I'll be joining you shortly. Well, welcome everyone. We are back with the second game, and this time I have with me partner in crime, Amruta Mokal. Hi, Amruta.
Hi, Sagar.
So, Amruta, you look very tired. Huh? First game was very exciting between Nihal and Karpov. Almost Nihal was on the verge of beating Karpov, I think, very close.
Yes.
Your thoughts about this match?
Oh, it's a really interesting pairing, I would say, and one of its kind, and very exciting for the Indian fans for sure. I'm very interested to see the second game, how it goes. And Nihal will be black, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Nihal will be black in this game, and the game has just begun. So
Mm-hmm.
let's have a look at what happened in this game. I think just trying to get the game uh, in
Hi,
this.
everyone there. All of you are awake for this interesting match. It's
Well, it's
11
not. It's not.
almost.
It's not too late. I
Yes.
mean, okay. So the game began with D4. Karpov plays his favorite move. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
he used to play e4 as well, but d4 is his main repertoire move.
Okay.
And then knight f6, e6, and we reached this Nimzo Indian,
Okay.
and Nihal has been really playing this with both the colors, with white as well. And now queen to c2 was played
Mm-hmm.
by uh, Karpov
Yes.
over here, and d5 in this position, cd, ed,
Bishop.
and bishop g5. So I think overall this position is very well known.
Yes.
I mean, there's nothing much to talk about it as of now, but few more moves have been played. So h6 was played by Nihal, and now bishop f6,
Queen f6.
queen f6 was taken back by by Nihal.
How much do you know the theory here?
Well, overall, I feel like after few more moves like a3, bishop c3, queen c3, I
Mm-hmm.
was preparing this once with the white side, not exactly from here, but from
Mm-hmm.
the Ragozin variation. So if you go like in this position, this is we got it from the Nimzo Indian move order.
Right.
But if you go knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop b4,
Mm-hmm.
bishop
Bishop.
g5,
Ah,
uh,
really?
h6, take, maybe cd, ed.
Oh,
You get
does
a
convert.
you get a
Yeah, kind of.
similar position, but with the knight not being on f3
Queen
yet,
c2, yeah.
and there could be small differences here. But what Nihal has got here, I would say, is just the kind of positions that Karpov likes. I mean, here I think, well, next move after queen c3 was c6, or first he castled. I don't think you can afford to take this pawn here
Mm-hmm.
because d4 is hanging. So queen in this position, I think Karpov went e3.
What do you think? Would they be prepared here?
C6. Yeah, I guess this is mainline stuff. And this is one of Karpov's favorite positions. I have seen this game, maybe if I'm not mistaken, there was this famous game Karpov versus Luboyevich.
Mm-hmm.
Karpov Luboyevich, and if the viewers can have a look at that, it was one of the model games in the minority attack. So, white can go b4, b5,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll come to this thing in a bit. And
It's
somehow,
amazing that you are able to remember a lot of ideas and the games and.
yeah, I was essentially a d4 player, so these are the lines which I did
I was an
study.
IMSO Indian player, but I have always been bad at memorizing the games.
Yeah, Karpov went knight f3, rook e8 was played here,
Mm-hmm. Bishop.
and now bishop e2. Somehow this position, I mean, objectively you can say around even,
Yes.
but I feel that white has a small edge, just from the fact that I can play white. So my plan
I
is,
think Nihal is going to equalize this very easily.
yeah, well, we'll see. But the point is I'll go b4, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and like first I'll castle. then I'll go b4, and then my threat is b5. And as you all know, this is called a minority attack because one
Hmm.
pawn is sort of attacking these three pawns. It's a minority attack
Hmm.
on the black structure. So if black then takes on b5, then d5 becomes a weakness in this position. If he doesn't take,
Black
then
will
I
try to
take.
get his b5 and knight d7, knight b6, knight c4. But then it's the good knight versus
Yeah,
bad
possible.
bishop,
So
yeah?
for example, you say that, let's say I go
I mean,
knight
it's the
d7,
usual
or first
idea.
let's say you try to develop your bishop, say here,
f5 and bishop e4 I would like to get.
castles, knight d7, and if I play b4, maybe you suggest
It's
playing b5. uh,
no, over here I don't like it though because white has a lot of ideas like I think even e4
yes,
and rook
a4 looks
fc1.
pretty strong here, yeah, because
Yeah.
suddenly your rook starts to get active on this file. And
But rather bishop b4 is bishop f5 and bishop e4 looks fine.
yeah, bishop f5, bishop e4. Okay, Aparna Chakradev says, how to face this boring d4 players? Give some tips. Are they afraid of Dutch or kid?
That's a good question.
I think it's like saying what is the way to refute d4? I am not sure, and are they afraid of kid or are they afraid of Dutch? It's not easy to say because some people, like for example, when someone plays King's Indian against me, I feel
Hmm.
good because I'm well prepared against that. But if
Okay.
someone played something like, say, Slav, or someone played the Grunfeld, perhaps I'm like. So I think it depends from player to player. You have to look at their games and you have to judge on those lines. By the way, I have to give a shout out to Shyam Krishnan. Thank you so much, Shyam, for contributing 200 rupees via super chat. Um, very very kind of you. I think today a lot of people have contributed through super chat. Uh, I guess they are enjoying the commentary.
Definitely, it's a lot of effort, and I'm very happy that people are contributing to the good cause.
Okay, someone said right now, Wesley So won the Fisher Random World Championship. Maybe
Ah,
so that's a new world champion we have, and I'm very impressed with the way
yeah.
Wesley played because I thought when you play Fisher Random, the player who's the strongest should become the world champion. Because it's all about chess. But Wesley has beaten Carlsen, which shows maybe when it comes to pure chess skills, maybe he's better than Carlsen.
Yeah, he has this his own innovative preparation ideas, and when the theory is not developed so much in Fisher Random, I think that also gives him an edge to get into his likable positions as such. But it's a great news. Still, beating Magnus is
It's a big thing
yeah,
for Wesley.
definitely.
I think he had been struggling a bit with his chess career
Yes, in between,
recently, and this is a big break for him.
sure.
Uh, okay, so by the way, Shyam Krishnan, who just contributed 200, has said, I want to see you as a GM very soon. Well, Shyam, thank you so much for first of all contributing and also for your wishes because, yeah, I really hope I can.
Yes, I know you really want to play, and I would love you to play chess, definitely.
Okay, you're on record now. Okay, so Bishop G4 was played
Mm-hmm.
by
Ah, I
Nihal.
thought he's gonna go bishop f5 and bishop e4, but
Yeah,
yes.
I think Bishop G4 he
Maybe
just.
here he's, in fact, if white plays at any point h3, it's just a bad move. It's going to be a bad move. It's going to be a provocation. So
I'm not sure a
he's
bad move, but I think White can play H3. Black
for
will just
now, but
Black
in
will not take. I
no, of
think
course
he'll
not.
just go
Bishop
back.
f5 and then queen g6, and then because white is going to short castle, it's
Possible. So it's just some kind of a feeler move, trying to feel on White's king side.
mm-hmm.
Castle was played by Karpov. Nihal developed,
knight d7,
and now a very common move in such positions.
b4.
It seems like you want to put your rook here because this is the semi-open file,
All right.
but the right decision would be to put the other rook because of two reasons. One is that at some point f1 square can come useful, like if you at some point want to get a knight back, but that's
Mm-hmm.
not the main thing. The main thing is that, let's say, if black plays some move, rook e7, okay, and you
Mm-hmm.
go b4, a6, a4. Now when you're going to play b5, suddenly the a file will
Yes,
open up and you need the rook there, and then
absolutely.
the rook on f1 would be doing nothing. So to get that to c1 makes more sense.
That's a good tip really.
Yeah,
I think, and
that's
it has been there in lot of positional play books, I believe, these kind of examples. So it's great that you are revising them again. I don't know how long it's been since I've played chess.
But you know what? The feeling I get from this position, and now Nihal is thinking for a move for his move, is that this is much easier for Karpov to play. He knows this,
Yeah.
and even in the previous game, if you look at it, the hanging pawn structure. Of course, Nihal was able to get the tactics rolling with knight g5 coming in and stuff like that. But somehow, those were the kind of positions that Karpov thrives on.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
imagine beating Karpov in Karpov style. That's going to be much more of a
maybe
fun.
that's why Nihal is playing this positional kind of a thing. Yeah. Okay. So the game one was drawn.
Mhm.
For all those who have joined in now. That, by the way, this is the second rapid game, 25 minutes plus 10. Then there are two blitz games of 5 plus 3. So these are four games
Ah,
that
yeah, but are you
Nihal
going
and
to survive until the Blitz?
yeah, hopefully I
What
will.
do you think is going to happen in this game? Just as a prediction. And you must have seen how
I
they
mean,
played in
when
the
it
first game.
started,
So,
I told everyone that Nihal I feel is the favorite.
yes.
But now with the first game ending in a draw and this position,
Hmm.
I feel somehow Karpo has got a small edge now, because here I feel White's position is easier to
But do
play.
you think Karpov, who has not played chess for a long time now, I mean, very few tournaments, I would say, but do you think that's going to affect his handling of pressure and
Yeah,
then playing
definitely.
someone like Nihal for
Yeah,
the first time?
yeah, both were nervous, I would say, in the first game. Both didn't know what to do. Like Nihal could have, I think, done many direct things. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
go for it. While Karpov is also a bit nervous. So now things will improve in this game. By the way, knight to f8 was played.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question by Nitin Hombalkar who says, how to contribute? Well, Nitin, there is a small button, and to all the viewers watching here, where you put the chat in. It's a dollar sign called super chat. So all those who would like to contribute can do so from that. We would be very happy if you did so. Okay. Aparna Chakradev asks, is this position more about art, science, or sport? Very difficult question. I would say that this position is more about just playing this position. You can say it's about positional play or tactical play. I don't think the players are right now thinking about whether this is art or science. Uh, Maybe they are taking it as a sport. Yeah, they want to win. Okay. Yeah, Emmanuel Gariseb is here. By the way, Amruta, we met him in. He's from Namibia. He was in Mumbai,
Ah,
and he says this is the Carlsbad structure. Absolutely right, Emmanuel. These pawns here, which are in this structure, and black pawns like this, they were first played in a place called Carlsbad, and so
uh-huh.
the name has stuck, Carlsbad structure.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay,
So, what is Black's plan here as such? Like,
to attack.
Where is he going to keep his knight?
I
Does he
think
want to get it on e4 or he wants to try?
I feel
What exactly?
black has only one. I mean, there is one theory in chess which is
Mm-hmm.
known as the pawn pointing theory, and which means that when the pawns point to a certain direction, like this,
Hmm.
you play in this side of the board. So white starts to play on the queen side,
Yeah.
while black's pawns, if you look, they are pointing towards this side like this.
Hmm.
So you start playing on this side of the board. So in
Okay.
a way, of course, it doesn't work always,
Hmm.
but here, of course, if there was a pawn on e4, you were clear you had to play on the king side. But here, maybe you have ideas like knight e6, knight g5,
Or
knight
knight e6,
g6,
knight h4.
knight h4. Somehow, black is trying to get, maybe if you can move the queen up, say to f5, get rook e6, rook g6.
Ooh,
This is how you try to launch an attack in such structures.
so if you want to attack, that is the way Nihal will continue. If you want to exchange the minor pieces, probably it will land up in major piece endgame, and which
Yeah, but I don't think you
mostly
should.
should.
exchange too many pieces. For example, just say I play b4,
Mm-hmm.
you go knight g6, um, okay, a4 I'm not right now making,
Okay.
knight h4, take. Of course here bishop e2 is also possible, but I'm just trying to give this as an example
Mm-hmm.
variation. I think
B5.
white is better here, because
Rook e6. I'm not sure.
yeah, you can take, I take
BC6. First, maybe rook
bc6.
g6, an intermediate move, and
Yeah,
then
sure, but I mean with
you'll have to play
g3.
g3 and then bc6 and then h5, h4
No, it's a little bit too slow in my opinion, and even if you go h5, h4,
and
uh,
h3. And
yeah, usually what white does here is he gets the queen in here, rook b1 to b7. So let's say rook b1, h5, rook b7, and
be
somehow,
careful.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, h4.
I
Alright, we have to go back.
you
It's
know,
too deep
Amruta
and
is
it's too.
is a
It's about psychology also. Who enjoys what? So,
sure, but objectively, I
yeah,
think
I
white
think
is better.
Nihal will understand that better.
Okay. Um, right. So let's have a
Let's
look
check and
at what
update. Yeah,
was played. I think there were some moves made. B4 was
pretty
played
similar
by
to
Karpov.
our analysis, I guess.
Yeah, B4, and now knight G6 was played. So as
Similar,
Nihal wants to
yeah.
attack, and now Queen B2 was played instead of A4,
Queen
because
B2.
yeah, the
That's
idea,
a.
you can't play B5 just as yet
Yeah,
because
no,
it
we were
drops a
thinking of
pawn.
A4. I'm not talking about B.
Yeah, but just to show the viewers, after bishop b5 suddenly take,
Yeah.
and this is not
Uh,
simple,
yes.
because if you take on e8,
Hmm.
I have queen g5,
Yes.
and g3, then you have may play,
Okay,
and then
we
I mean this just
just lost,
better.
yeah.
There could be other ways as well, but so queen b2 has the idea of, first of all,
Supporting E2.
supporting
So knight
e2.
h4,
Yeah,
when you
so
are
now,
taking knight
now
h4,
as we
it's
said,
like.
so you said knight h4 is okay for black, but I don't like it,
Hmm.
and now also b5 is what you would want to play. By the way,
Yeah, it's very Karpov like move. He
yeah,
used to generally keep his queen on f8 or f1. That was very known. But taking back the queen, it's very Karpov style.
right.
So
By the way, one more suggestion was that if b5 here, there could be ideas like knight f4 as well. So yeah, true. This was not so queen b2 is played. By the way, Harish Kumar, thank you so much for your contribution. Usually, when he's online and we are doing live commentary, he always contributes. So, Harish, thank you for this, and very
yes.
nice of you to contribute. Okay, after queen b2, I think Nihal is now thinking for his move.
How
Uh,
much time
by
is
the
he
way,
having?
Nihal has 16 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
around 17 minutes, you can say. Karpov has 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can feel that Karpov is more comfortable somehow from the time. He has
Yes.
3 minutes more on the clock.
This must be like in his blood, I feel.
Yeah, in general, for a player who's played d4 for, let's say, more
Exactly.
than half of his career, such structure is something that he thrives on. He loves it. And Nihal would have to launch an attack here. He should be starting to think how to do it. And I think this is a
Mm-hmm.
possible move. You want to double
Rook
on the
e6, yeah, rook
e
e8.
file, and yeah, as you rightly pointed out, like,
Maybe even h5,
just
h4 first. Yeah.
just do this and play this. Maybe you give up this a7
Yeah,
pawn.
I'm okay. H5 and h4 and I'm. I mean, okay. That's how you play chess. Yeah. Otherwise, it's boring.
Sure. Um, okay, Veni Vedi Vici says, can't we contribute from India? It says the facility isn't available in the region. Well, right now Harish Kumar contributed and many Indians have contributed, so I'm sure it's available. Maybe you are some issue in the browser or something, but of course Indians can contribute. Okay, so queen b2 and
But
now
how
black.
was the play, the first game which was played in time pressure? How
By
was
the way,
it played?
Nihal played the move. We suggested rook e6
Wow,
in the
I
game. So
think that's a great thing you suggested. So
well,
knight h4
well,
definitely, we can assume now that knight h4 was not the best move. I never said it was the best move though, but
yeah.
we
I
were
mean, of
just
course, you don't
checking
want
out.
to like, when you are attacking, you want to keep
Yes,
the pieces. So
that's a
logically, yes.
simple principle.
Yeah, you were asking some question.
Yeah, in the first game, how was the play during the time pressure? I did not follow the first game
Yeah, I
personally.
think
I was busy.
Nihal didn't play so well, but then he got a small edge in the end game, and Karpov defended very well.
So it means the time pressure is not going to be something like an edge for Nihal. Like if Karpo is under time pressure or
Possible,
Nihal is under
but
time pressure.
already the
But
position is not so
yeah,
complicated, and
it's
time
not. But if
pressure
it gets
is.
in complications, then it's not something like both of them have an edge. It's like they both
Yeah,
are able to.
I
It's
mean, of course,
just one.
Nihal would have a small edge being a better
I
blitz
thought.
player, I think. Uh,
And
but
being younger.
being younger, yeah, that's the main thing. Okay, so rook e6 was played, and now Nihal Karpov is thinking. So
What would you go for here?
suddenly things can become sharp. So I would say if I have to play in the most ambitious way, I would play b5
You
here.
would play b5 already?
Yeah, uh, because I don't see any tactics coming up.
What
Any
about I?
also let's ask our viewers what they would play in this position.
That's a good
What
question.
would you like to do here with
With
white?
black, no.
No, with
With
white.
you played b5
Yeah,
already.
instead of b5, what
Ha,
would
if
you
there is any other
want to
ideas.
play? Yeah. Okay. So Shyam Krishnan says, Sagar, I have a different view. Nihal never had an edge in the previous game. Well, I haven't checked this previous game with the engine yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I will do so, but I felt he
What
had.
ab- what about the practical edge which was
No,
seen?
but maybe I'm not sure. Yeah, perhaps I have to check it. But I thought he had lot of different possibilities. Okay, h3 is not a move that you want to make because first of all, apart from the fact that something like
They used to say principally on your playing side, on the opposite playing side, don't make unnecessary pawn moves. So
yeah,
when you directed the pawn structure from f2 to d4, which is directing towards the king side, queen side, you should not be making such pawn moves on king side.
yeah, it's basically that the concept is that where you are weaker, don't make pawn moves on that side of the board.
Yes.
So, but here, as
If you
rightly
have,
pointed out, I mean, I could just go back,
hmm
and then later on, this becomes a weakness. I can sometimes sacrifice here, and overall, also could consider taking here, but I don't think it works somehow. Maybe it's just too
yeah,
soon.
yeah,
But you should consider ideas like this, and then suddenly the rook could jump in like this. So
right. Like if the queen was not on b2, you had also knight f4 and those type of
yes,
ideas.
yeah. So my Forrest Dutch has said something very nice. He says, "I think Nihal plays too much with respect against Karpov here. Maybe." I,
This is
I
a
feel so as well. I mean, he's giving a bit too much respect, and maybe he didn't play the most ambitious way. Um,
that does happen, right? Psychologically, the first time, it's not how much ever you decide. It's not easy to not do that, right?
um,
What do you think?
well,
Has
for
it ever happened
Nihal,
with you?
no, I have never. I have never played a world champion in a
Mhm.
one-to-one game, but I have played against some
I mean, yeah, exactly
2700s
like that.
opponents and maybe against Anand in a simul and stuff. And so when you play against these stronger opponents, yeah, you tend to give them a bit of respect. But for Nihal, I don't think it's a matter of this. Even he would understand that with the ratings being 2610, Nihal is 2610 and Karpo 2617,
Yeah.
he's the one who is the favorite because he's in touch, he's
Yes.
playing a lot. So I don't think that here it's, I mean, if Nihal was playing Anand, or let's say Nihal was playing someone like Caruana or Carlson, I understand this respect, but maybe here a bit too much.
Mhm.
Yeah, as Chess Lovers for Life says, give no respect. I mean, with the moves, yeah. Don't not
Yeah,
off the board, but on the moves. Okay, Nihal will win because he's human alpha zero, says Musami Guchai.
mm-hmm. So, are there any moves which happened in the
Yeah,
game
any
after?
suggestions here? I think split
Okay.
rook says rook c3 or knight e1. Sole oval says rook c2. Knight e5 was one suggestion by Parichai. Rook c3. A lot of people want to double on the c file. I'm not so sure about that. But also, yeah, I
So
mean,
rook c2, yeah, but
well, what I would want to do is b5. I mean, this is just natural, and let's see if there's anything wrong with this
so what
as
would
such.
black? Let us ask what would they play for b5?
Yeah, let's look at what black can do here. Um, yeah, I want to, let's just say, play rook e8 here, and well, if you take, I take back, and now I have threat of knight f4. This is what I want to do, and yeah, you can maybe go on the defensive here.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is saying rook c5.
Yeah, I mean, in this
With white,
position,
yeah.
yeah, rook e6, rook
Uh,
c5, but still, I mean, for black it's pretty simple, rook e8, and I want, my threat is knight f4. Okay, so doubling on the c file is a little slow in my
yeah,
opinion.
white will
I mean,
have to do
you don't
something
really
dynamic.
want to do move like rook e1. Even still, I mean, this could be a possible move, just in case. Like you
Yeah,
play this,
bishop
take,
takes, bishop
take, and then something
no,
could
not
come up
something.
here.
If you get anything right now, only then. Otherwise,
No, just take this and then rook g6. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Because this is too much. I mean, rook c5 doesn't look good. So Nihal is thinking. I mean, he thought for a long time. He's down to 14 minutes now, and Karpo has been already thinking for 5 minutes. I think here. So he will also from 20 minutes come down to 15 minutes or so.
yeah.
So the time wise factor is pretty okay. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a good time to ask our viewers as to what they think could be possible in this match, in this game as such. What do they think? Do you think Nihal can launch an attack with black? Do you think white is better? What do you feel? Who will win this? Why is chess so complicated, Atul Tripathi? Maybe
No.
because I guess people are still playing chess because it's complicated. Otherwise, there was no point in doing that.
Yeah, in fact, we there were a lot of debates that if computer solves the game, then humans won't be interested. But people still said that no, even if computer solves chess, I wouldn't know. I'm not going to remember it. How much ever I know how
Yeah,
it's going to be solved.
that's
So
true.
yes.
Uh, by the way, a lot of people are saying Nihal will still win. I think it's more emotional. A lot of Indians here, so they do feel that Nihal will win this.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, the move suggested
But
here.
definitely, if Nihal wins, it's going to be a big thing, no matter what. Beating Karpov, yeah.
I
Whatever you
wouldn't call
say.
it a big thing because first of all, I'm really impressed with Karpo because he's ready for this match
Mm-hmm.
to play this against a youngster who's 15-year-old. I
Mm-hmm.
think Nihal has very little to lose here. Even if he loses the match,
No,
no one
you
is
were
going to.
thinking from Indian psychology. Is it like
No,
just
no,
think
no.
about
I'm
the
thinking from just a normal psychology that
global
if Nihal
perspective?
loses this match,
Mm-hmm.
Karpov is not going to boast saying I beat Nihal. I mean, okay, it's a good feat, but if Nihal can beat Karpov, it's like a good point on his resume that he's beaten a former world champion at the age of
Exactly.
15. So
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity for Nihal here.
Yeah. Karpov agreeing for this match was
Yeah,
really something
exactly.
impressive.
Yeah, Karpov saying that he would play is really cool. Um, and here he's thinking a lot.
Yes.
It's been almost 6 minutes since he's thinking, and I guess he's perhaps trying to think of b5, seeing if something is wrong there or what is happening. By the way,
Usually, I know
uh,
these at such a top level when they are thinking for a long time. After that, they really make rapid moves
yeah,
because
yeah,
they have thought about the whole things. It's the really critical moment when they are thinking.
yeah,
So this point, I think this position should be really critical if Karpov is thinking so much,
sure.
right?
So sure, I mean this is not a,
I mean, in the sense to decide a final plan and
yeah,
to see what the ideas
maybe it's not the
Black
most
has
critical position,
in the
but
game, in this
yeah, he
game.
wants to come up with some concrete stuff here. By the way, there are some people like, for example, Forrest Dutch, who said, "I'm not an Indian. I'm from Netherlands, but I still support
Is
Nihal."
he Van Forest
No, no, I don't think
or
so.
Lucas Forest or
Yeah,
there is this family from Netherlands. I think how many of them? All of them play, yeah.
yeah, it's the Van Forest family. By the way, it's like what Jordan Van Forest, Lucas Van Forest. Then they have their sister. So many
Mm-hmm.
of them play chess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess still Karpov is thinking maybe it's a good time to show our viewers this picture here. So tell us a bit about this picture, Amrita.
Ah, okay. Here you can see my brother, sorry, Prathamesh Mukul, and this is Karpov here with the secretary. So this was at World Youth Olympiad
Mm-hmm.
and World Youth Team Olympiad, which was in Turkey. I believe five of them. Hari Krishna was there in the team. Venkatesh, Prathamesh, Akashdeep, and Thank You. He was from Northeast. Yes, the five of them had gone. Um, they played really, really well without a manager, handling everything on their own at the age of 15. It was, I think, at that time not so easy. So they finished ninth, but they were really close to a medal. I would say until the penultimate round. But yeah, they finally were able to finish ninth.
Okay, so as would like to tell all of you, Amruta's brother Prathamesh Mokal is an IM. He's from Pune, and he's also a good, very nice coach. Right now, we are in Pune. We traveled from Mumbai today to Amruta's place. As you can see, all the trophies in the background are something that have
Okay,
been won by
okay.
Amruta and Prathamesh. Well, until Karpov doesn't make his move, we have to talk about a few things. Um, yeah, Shyam Krishna has contributed 100 rupees. Shyam Krishnan,
Thank
thank you
you so
so much. You
much.
have been very kind. You have
Yeah,
contributed
already. Yeah.
multiple times. This is really a great thing. And he says Prathamesh was a great player. So maybe
Oh,
he did meet him.
oh,
And Pradeep Rao says, I appreciate
thank
your
you.
work in chess field. It inspires a lot of youth around the globe. Me and my
Oh,
chess coaching team follows you. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Pradeep. Okay. Uh, yeah, still no move by Karpov. So definitely, I don't
are
think
you
it's
sure any?
no. It's Karpov is still thinking. In my opinion. So
Mhm.
he did make a move now, and he took what?
Just
He took a massive 15 minutes. He's down to 5 minutes on his clock. He played the move queen to d2.
really.
Yeah. And this is rustiness, I would say. 15 minutes in a 25
That
minute
that
game.
sounds more like pressure, I would
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
no? Because in a rapid game, 15 minutes, that's something in a classical game that you should be using max 15 to 20.
Yes, and queen d2 is not like an earth-shattering move. It's just a normal move he's played. Uh, I don't think it's very special. Nihal will just double his rooks. I mean,
Hmm.
uh, there's nothing much happening.
What
Okay.
do you think is the logic behind this move? Does he want to play rooks e2 or like
Yeah, I'm not
exactly? I
sure.
don't
It's just
know.
he's defending against some ideas on e3 pawn.
I
Uh,
don't think with like even if black would have doubled rook e8 and rook into e3 was a
yeah,
possibility anyway.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, why queen d2? Maybe difficult to say.
Maybe any after b5 any
I
pin
mean, if you want to
ideas,
make
rook
queen d2,
c5 and
you
something.
play it in 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then you can say, okay, fine, this move didn't had no point, just a simple move. But if you think for 15 minutes and
Mm-hmm.
then play queen d2, something is fishy. Yeah, just a waiting move, as crazy coders say. But when you play after 15 moves, you definitely expect some
Because
15
waiting move
minutes.
is okay, but black has a very clear plan, right? Rook
Yeah,
e2.
Nihal just doubled, and now he has a threat, knight f4 in this position. So suddenly, I think position is now at least
Yeah.
equal.
Yes, yes.
I
I
don't
have
like.
told you, Nihal is going to easily
Yeah,
equalize. Yeah, I find it comfortable for black. Yeah, like
yeah. Of course, it's comfortable, and now I don't even know what white should play. Like, should he go rook e1 now? Just
defending then. It
maybe.
means he's being a little unambitious, and
Yeah.
it's
Of course, Karpov was analyzing something, but I think this is the thing which separates a player who is in form, who's playing, and someone who's not playing.
yeah.
Forrest Dutch says that he's 68 years old. He had a nap and he just woke up and he played Queen D2. Okay, nice joke. Uh, by the way, this is maybe what Karpov wanted to do. Bishop D1.
Did he play that?
Yeah, he played this move in the
Mm-hmm.
position, and again a prophylactic move. The
If
point
he
is, if knight
wanted,
f4
mm-hmm.
takes, now there is
Now
no
even
mate
is supported.
on e1.
Oh
So
my God, that is so deep.
yes, but
But is it?
okay. I mean, I'm
I
not
know,
forced to do this.
I
So
know. But at the end, he still can't take the bishop anywhere, like on any other diagonal, because f3 knight is the problem.
yeah,
If he moves the knight, then he doesn't want to exchange the bishops now in this situation, I'm sure. So basically, now after all the preparation, he wants to try b5. Yeah, is it like that? By the
maybe.
time
But now
black will
b5 is
be.
not coming, and Tanmay Srinath who's here who's suggesting
Oh, okay.
bishop d1 to a4 and b5. But yeah, I mean, when
But
you put
bishop
your bishop
f3 is
on
there
a4,
problem
this is a
already.
problem, and also
And
a6
yes.
will just stop those ideas. By the way, just to give a shout out to Tanmay, who writes for Chessbase India regularly, and who's a very good author. Recently in CBM 192, which is recently released, Chessbase magazine, he wrote an article on the Benoni. So guys, just have a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Pradeep Rao says, "What's your prediction, Sagar?" I feel Nihal has definitely come back into this game, and he is pushing now. But the question is how to now start playing with black.
I would
Maybe.
say I'm very clear about it.
Yeah, I think you want to run down your H pawn down the board.
At
Yes.
some point.
Why not now? I mean, it looks
Yes.
pretty good. H5, H4. Um, yeah, I mean, Nihal, what he shouldn't do now is think for what Karpov did, like think for 12 minutes out of his 15
Yeah,
minutes
this is an
and come
advantage
down.
right now. He really has to use this much time difference, and then if he's attacking, defense in less time is always another problem. So
Yeah, but then what to play is a question, and I think H5 looks like
yeah,
the most logical
absolutely.
idea here to start pushing.
Yes, because first of all, you're asking a question to white. What again you are going to do,
Yes,
and it's not easy.
yeah, exactly. I mean, White has done Queen
The
D2
only way
and
he will
BD1.
maybe now need to do is after he'll have to go h3, bishop f5, and then bishop a4 because if he wants to do something
Yeah, but
again,
okay,
of course
just
I don't
for
like it, but then
example,
again
for
bishop e4
example,
is
if you
there.
do this, yeah,
Bishop
bishop.
e4, knight e. It's defensive on this. Maybe knight e1. You
No, this is just. I mean, you're
queen
being
g5.
pushed back.
Yeah.
Queen G5,
Knight
Knight
h4.
H4.
Yeah, too bad. No, it's just not good. Yeah.
Feeling good.
So that's out of question. He has to do something. B5. If he doesn't play B5, then already positionally he is, I think, bad. Yeah, in a bad position
Yeah.
because
Well, this is a point where Nihal has to choose now. Should he push his H pawn, or should
should
he
he play
do
simple something simple?
something else like knight H4? But you
No,
know,
knight h4 now
it
is
sort of reduces
releasing the
the
pressure.
pressure.
Yeah, where now that you're exchanging the pieces.
Yeah, and white would be happy here. Although now with the queen no longer b5 not coming up and rook g6 coming in and h5 h4, perhaps black also
No,
has
right now
good.
I'll just go queen d1
Yeah, I mean
and then
black
queen f3 and
ha,
then
has
okay.
some play here, so
But then
it should be
white, this
equal.
is fine because yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
it will be equal, not too much of. Hmm.
Yeah, with the right play, Nihal should win, says Shrey Sangar. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
think
about
so.
winning right now. One possibility is to take knight h4 so that you have some imbalance on the board. Now
Or
you need to.
bg4, bishop g4,
Yeah, bishop g4, queen g5. Uh, be careful, yeah.
queen queen d1.
Queen d1, rook g6.
Bishop h, it's just lost.
Trouble coming up, yeah. So Atul Tripathi asks if there is a battle between Sagar and Amruta, who do you think will win?
Oh, we have had battles
But
on
no,
the board events,
the
off the
main
board
question,
events.
main question is battle in what? You know, if chess, maybe I feel a little confident, but otherwise, not so easy. Okay, Shrey Sangar just contributed 200 rupees. Thank you so much, Shreya. It's
Yes.
very kind of you. Tanmay Srinath says, uh, it's not so easy for black to do something in this position. White always has anyone or something to exchange pieces. Well,
Okay, guess what?
yeah, of course. I mean, H5
I've
was played,
always been telling about that move.
but I didn't
It's
disagree.
something.
This time I was sure that H5 is the sort of only way, and Tanmay, it sort of answers your question as to what black must do. Black must play his H pawn down the board, try to soften
Yes.
up the structure.
I think he has done everything. Like has all the good pieces
Yeah,
at the right places, and now it's just time to attack.
yeah. For
It
example,
should be
if you
fine.
do something like 91, it's just visually very passive. I mean, I don't know if there is some kind of a sort of refutation as well here. Maybe there is, but just it's passive. So
Yeah, but that seems like the only thing. Yeah.
it's difficult to stay awake watching this game, says some of the viewers. Aparna, Um, just stay on. You know, fireworks will happen. H pawn is coming down the board.
Yes,
Both players.
I'm sure Nihal is gonna win, and you don't have to be awake for a longer time.
Okay, okay. By the way, Karpov is down to 5 minutes, less than five. Nihal has 7 minutes on his clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can't think for one move for more than 5 minutes.
By the way, Chris
Nobody can.
Charlie has asked a very good question. Do you think Karpov prepares for such a match? Um,
Yes, right? He should be
yes.
preparing. I mean, I think as a chess player, preparing for a match would be really fun.
No, I mean,
No?
it also depends on how busy he is, his schedule, what he wants, I mean, what he's doing right now. But I think he must have prepared a bit for this match, for sure. He must have played some
Yeah,
practice
because he
games.
cannot just get crushed, which was a possibility, you cannot deny.
Yeah, possible, but somehow I think he did some general practice, maybe not some, didn't go deep into some new opening novelties or something like that, because I think he works in
Hmm.
the government in
Yeah,
Russia, and he's a busy man. And yes, he played 91, by the way.
because
So
that's right now, that's the only thing. So
yeah, you need to move the knight.
otherwise, h4 is just too fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what should
Shrek
black do?
Sangar says, will
Because
you be coming to Kolkata for Grand Chess Tour? Yes. Well, it's one of the biggest events in India, and we have to be there to cover that. So we will be coming there on, I think, 20th of November. Um, Maybe Amruta will also join me. Okay, what time is it in India right now? It's 11:38.
11:38. Yeah. What are the candidate moves
Okay,
for
now
black, you think?
I
Yeah.
think Queen G5 definitely one candidate move.
Okay.
Um, Also,
Would you be considering bishop into d1, or that's
yeah,
completely
possibly.
out of?
Possible. Just take Queen D1 and then play H4. By the way, two people have contributed just right now, Rohan Venki and Shyam Krishnan. Thank you so much for
Oh,
contributing 200 each. Very, very, uh, I've been repeating it, very kind of everyone, but really it feels so good that you all are supporting this. Makes us feel like coming online more often.
yes.
Okay, knight E1, and I mean, I may want to now. I cannot really keep the bishop on the board because you'll just win this pawn. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to find ways. I would prefer if white takes here and I can take back, so that this
Really?
G pawn somehow creates some ideas like knight H4, knight
Would
F3.
that not really actually block your idea, because g2 is one of the weakness here.
Yeah, but
So you have to decide whether you want to shift it to h2 or not, right? That's
so
a
one
critical
question is you
decision.
take
And then,
and then do what? Like I want to go queen G5, but then knight F3 perhaps. Or
or you
here I go
directly
knight
play.
h4.
Yeah, that is one option, I feel. Yes.
Okay, let's look at the game. Knight h4 was played, yes, in this position. So Nihal has gone for this knight h4 move. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Now if bishop into g4, h into g4, now it's
yeah, like
already a
take,
little fast,
take,
yeah, because
and you always have
white
to
knight
worry
is
about this idea.
yes.
Take with the pawn, and then some mating
But the
ideas.
main thing is black can just prepare queen g5 rook g6, because now it is knight f3 is not there. I don't know what white will do and how he will try to defend.
Yeah.
Whether he will play a move like g3 or it's just lost.
So knight h4 and well, I guess Karpov is has to
No,
take. No, what do you
not
do?
really.
What do you do
He'll
next?
go bishop c2
Because
maybe or
because
something. I don't
you
know
have to
actually.
be careful about some ideas on the
Bishop
g2
c2
square.
and king h1
No,
f3,
come on,
something
bishop
like that.
c2.
I know it's bad,
This
but
is too risky. I mean, just play queen g5 and
I know king h1. No, I just want like the bishop, black's bishop, to be a problem in his own attack. Like I'm trying if that is possible.
oh, I
No,
don't think so. First of all,
but I
this
bishop f3, rook
this
d1, rook g8.
here
Yeah.
and something like this could be really risky. No, you have h3 perhaps, but
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
So yeah,
bd1 as
maybe
well.
it's a bad
There are
idea.
possibilities. I don't, but this is not how you do. I
Sure.
think
Hmm.
Karpo will take. Okay, he went g3. Karpo.
It's interesting to see how he's even going
Yeah,
to defend,
yeah.
because
And now Nihal has many ways to continue the attack. I guess he can move his knight. Let's say check here. Take this, take, and then I think what
wouldn't
Karpo
want
wants
queen
to do
d1.
is
Yeah,
yeah,
would definitely. I don't want to change when I'm attacking.
yeah, but what do you do?
I
Like
just more maybe queen g5 is an option.
yeah, but gh4. I mean your queen is attacked,
Not possible. I
so this
cannot
is
have
not
a
possible.
discovered a check. G6 is
Queen
not possible. No, then bishop c2
g6.
comes with a tempo anyway. Knight f5, maybe I'll
Yeah,
go a
but
simple
queen
move.
g6, bishop c2, knight, bishop f5, something like this is possible.
But why not direct knight f5? Is there any. Because e3 is anyway going
Yeah,
to be more
knight
under
f5 I
pressure.
guess is possible.
Now, if bishop g4, hg4 now in this structure is always fine, because you've played g3 already. And
So
yeah.
guys, time is Karpov is down to 2 minutes. Nihal has 5 minutes. He's thinking for his move. So after this move, he would be down to around 4 or 3.5 minutes on his clock.
Mhm.
We are now coming into that part of the game where players will
Yeah, where
start
it's
playing
all more
very fast.
intuitively, and
Yeah, and
I'm
10
interested to
second
see.
increment every
Yes.
move.
Ah,
So
okay.
not much. Okay, Tanmay says swap, swap, swap and draw. No, I don't think Nihal is going to do that. If he does
No,
that,
this is the
then I think he
closest.
would be playing with too much respect. This we discussed
Yeah.
already. If he does this, I think overall this is not maybe what Nihal would do against anyone else.
Yes.
Let's see if he does
Even
this.
even in this kind of a case, you go NF knight f5, and then you have ideas like h4 and pressure on e3. Black is just in general already slightly better.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
But
what the
maybe what
computer says.
Nihal
I
wants to
don't.
do is play two draws in the rapid section and then in blitz try to win.
So that he gets to play more games with Karpo.
No, no, there's only two games.
Yeah, exactly. Here, if he's beating him, then he wins.
Ah, in future you mean. Okay, by the way, someone wrote that how do you contact us for something if you want to write to us? Please write to us at chessbaseindia@gmail.com. I will if you write to me, addressing it to me, I would reply to that email. So please do that. Okay. Aditya Masur says, can you have Anish Giri once in your live analysis? It would be so much fun. Yeah, well, we hope to do it in Tata Steel at Grand Chess Tour. Of course, get him. Oh, man, Nihal did it. Nihal played knight f3 check. Okay. Well, what to say? Um,
He would still
uh,
have some respect, this thing, chances to win or no.
I don't know. I mean, definitely, there's still some play left. Like you play queen d1, I could go queen f5.
Yeah, but
And then you should be always careful about some sacrifice on e3, but
no,
I
but
think
nothing.
Karpov can handle this. Yeah, that's what happened. Queen d1, queen f5. This is
H4
exactly.
is still not so easy
No,
to deal
h4
with.
won't
No,
be
no,
a
no,
good
no, no.
move.
Black's H4, of
Yeah, but
course.
here h4 doesn't look so good
This is not good.
because
I don't like it. Rook, just rook.
even at some point, let's say right now
Yeah,
h5 is hanging,
E3.
but if I can get
Yes.
g5 takes h4, there will be some attack coming in across to your king. So um, I don't know if Karpov would go h4 because there's one more idea. Like I can go king g2 and try for queen f3, but Karpov often makes moves which are defensive
Unpredictable,
moves which
yeah.
are unpredictable.
True.
Yeah, Shatanik Mukhuti says why? Double question mark. Well, yeah, exactly. I was not very happy with knight f3, although yeah, perhaps it was objectively maybe okay, but dead draw now, says many people. Maybe Nihal, as I said, yeah, draw these two games and try to win in blitz.
Yeah, that seems like the only thing because
Queen c2, and now you can expect a repetition. Queen f3, queen c2, like this, maybe. But Nihal could also try to
Queen
go.
C to Queen H3, huh?
Yeah, queen c2, just move into h3 here. Maybe this is what he can.
And imagine if Nihal is actually able to beat Karpov from this position, then, as I said, beating Karpov in Karpov's style.
Okay, so Nihal has decided to continue. He went rook e4. So he's
Okay.
definitely feeling that here he has his chances. King g2 and now I guess h4. Yeah,
Yes,
push in. But f3,
definitely.
no. We have to be careful. f3 is coming up,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
can't just push in.
you'll have to go Queen G5 right now or what?
Now let's look at f3, h3
King
because you can't go to g. You have to go to f2
F2.
to control the f3 pawn. And
You
now the
have
rook is
some
not
time now.
hanging.
Yes. Now,
So queen f6 perhaps, and then e3
yes.
becomes a weakness. Possible.
Yeah, that's good. If 3 doesn't look good, so that's why not.
Yeah. So king g2, and now Nihal is thinking he's down to 2 minutes. Karpov has 1 minute. h4 is not played. Yeah. Okay, now queen h3. Basically here instead of rook e4, queen h3. Why was this not played is also a good question actually. I mean, Maybe h4 next, rook h6 could have been interesting.
Maybe queen d1 again and then queen f1.
Yeah. This is a good point because queen d1, h4, queen f1. Yeah, possible. This could have been played, but rook e4, king g2, and now let's see what Nihal has done here.
Yeah, I'll play g6 with the.
Okay, Nihal went g6 in that position to just defend his queen.
I think he had a queen g7 and rook h8 idea in future basically.
No, just to defend the queen, I guess. Rook e6 here, bringing the rook up, and now Karpov's move here. He's thinking. Okay.
But Nihal is definitely pressing in
Yeah,
some
he's
way,
pressing.
but
Somehow he has some ideas of g5, h4 at some point, and this pawns here, which you wanted to do the minority attack, never happened.
yes, exactly. So I mean, Karpov did not really get anything
Yeah.
here. It was not at all impressive.
No, of course not. Rook a2. Karpov didn't play really so well here. But now black has
So
to
looking
find a
back,
way.
queen d2 was not the best move
Not
because
at all. So now rook f6. What do you do? g5. Some possibilities here. Rook a2. Okay, king g7. Okay, Nihal is very good at these little moves, but
he'll just improve as much as possible, and then at the right time, I think he'll go g5. Yeah, that's the. I mean,
yes.
I think the right time is very soon because I don't think he needs to move any pawn on the queen side.
Yeah. Okay, here f3 move doesn't work anytime because I just take rook
into
e3
e3.
and the queen is defended with the g6 pawn. So, by the way, for all the people who joined in just now, game 1 was drawn between Nihal and Karpov. So, this is game number 2 that we are looking at now. Okay, so a4 was played by Karpov, rook
Sham
f6.
was saying f3 instead of king g2 was winning.
Queen e2. Okay, we'll come to it. And now Nihal's move here. It's down to 30 seconds.
Maybe he will take his rook to g4 and then
Yeah,
move
he
g5
went
or
back
no?
and
Rook
then
e6.
rook c3. I think slowly and steadily white is beating back the attack.
Yeah.
Queen e4 check, okay. And then maybe put the rook on f3 next after the king moves. That's why he went f3. But now there are some weaknesses, like all these pawns are weak. So
But
queen f5.
they can be defended now.
Yeah, so it's basically black
It's about
attacking.
defense. Yeah, with a very strong defense, I don't think black can really break.
Now g5 will definitely be played at some point by Nihal. Yeah, guys, get ready for action now. 30 seconds each for both players. So, rook a1, rook e8. Nihal taking it slow. He knows that he doesn't have to rush. f3 is weak, e3 is weak. Rook
Rook
e1,
was played.
rook e6. So now some more
No, really,
pressure.
they are. I think it's just the time pressure moves. Yeah, no.
Yeah, of course. I mean, both are under time trouble, but there will be some. Black will go g5 at some point. f6 g5 maybe, something like that, at the right moment.
Yes,
But
but even
before
white
that,
is gonna go e4.
before that, Karpov has made some progress here. Queen d3, queen f6, e4. Mm.
Is it actually going to expose the king?
Take.
D into e4,
I
f
think
into
you have to
e4,
take.
or rook into e4. Will you go fe4?
No,
or
yeah, of
rook
course,
e4?
fe4, just keeping the
Directly,
structure,
okay.
and now queen e7. And this is what happens when you.
Already a weakness is created.
No, it's winning a pawn.
Direct.
There is a
Oh.
double attack, and maybe
Oh.
Nihal is winning a pawn here. Karpov goes b5, cb, and take on e4. You will be pawn up, but okay, rook endgame with rook c7. Maybe it's not so clear. So cb, I guess you take ab. and then after take on e4, take on e4, take on e4, this and rook c7. Maybe
This
it's
has
still,
not yet happened in the game.
yeah, this should be a draw, I guess. So Nihal may have to find a different way to press. But Karpov is thinking after cb5. He's taking his time. He took ab back.
Now it's Nihal's choice to play rook
Yeah, he
e4 or
did
not.
play it. He did play, but I think this is not something special. I think it's just rook
Rook
c7.
c7, rook into
You can get into a pawn
d4,
up
rook into
rook end
b7.
game.
Ah, this definitely Karpov would be able to defend, right?
Yeah.
Theoretical draw, right? Or no?
No, for example, now you can't
Rook,
defend b7, so
rook
you
into
must
d4, rook into b7, rook
take,
a4, or
well, do whatever, like
rook
rook
a4.
b4 or rook
No, no
a4,
rook a4. I'll try to get.
b6 and just
Yeah.
liquidate. Ah, Nihal went b6 first. Okay. Does it change anything? I mean, b6. I take
Rook
here.
into a7, rook into d4. It might, because you have to attack the b6 pawn right now. But white also had another idea of supporting the d4 pawn by rook d7.
Yeah, he took on a7 now, and rook
Uh,
takes d4, I guess, is forced now. Rook
yeah.
takes d4. And now we have this position on the board. So Nihal is a pawn up, but I think this is equal, but okay. Yeah, please analyze f3 instead of king g2. Yeah, we should get to this point at some point. F3 instead of king g2, but maybe we'll do it after the game ends, because now there is a lot of quick moves that will be made.
These were.
Yeah, this is played, and maybe what Nihal would want to do is play king e6, play f5, so the rook defends this and this, cuts off the black king, and then just try to get somehow the king on this side. This
Yeah,
is the idea.
black has chances, yeah?
Yeah,
Good
definitely
chances, in
some
fact,
chances.
because. Oh.
So king f6, king f4, king e6, rook c7, king f6. Yeah, king f4, king e6, rook c7.
If f5, then king g5
Yeah, now
would be.
f6 maybe, or f5. Maybe f5,
King
king
g5
g5,
would
king
be
d5.
dangerous. No, rook.
Yeah, you have a very active king now. That's for sure.
No, but after king d5 exactly? Rook no, because after king d5, rook g7, king c5, it might be a race or
So
something.
this is the position on the board right now. People think that this has to be a draw, but okay, Nihal can
There are
try.
some
He,
complications.
he can play on. I mean, why to accept a draw so soon? Like rook d4 check right now, because if you go rook d4, he has to come back. If he goes up, there is rook g4.
But rook d4, king e3, and what then?
He played king f6 here. I think one thing that's good about Nihal is that he's quite patient all many times. You know, he doesn't blunder ever in the games. Yeah, he might make moves which are non-ambitious, but never a blunder like miss something huge. At least in these two games, he's been very solid. Rook b7.
They might repeat. But I don't think Nihal will try till the end. He has nothing to lose.
Yeah, sure. Well, it has been a pretty long day. King e6. Now again rook c7. I think Karpo shouldn't mind repeating. Yeah, again another draw, says Subhankar Ghosh. Well, maybe, but yeah, draw. Well, they accepted a draw. They agreed to a draw.
Ah. Oh, that. I don't know. It was at a point really, really dynamic and lots of possibilities,
Let's
but
go to that point where one
yes,
of our viewers said that instead of
F3, I
king
think. Yeah.
g2, what was happening to f3? Was it winning? I think it was here. f3. Hmm. How is it winning? Can I not take the pawn? What's happening?
Rook F1,
Not so sure. Queen
e4.
e3 is hanging. No, no, no. King. I think he missed
Sorry.
queen into f3.
Ah, maybe he thought king was on G2 that time.
Yeah. Um.
F3 instead of king. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I have to look at a position where. Well, thank you, Tanmay, who's here. He says best wishes and leaving. Maybe the blitz is about to begin in some time. So, guys, you should stay back. Amruta, you're going to stay back for commentary,
yeah.
or
I'm not.
you're
I'm not sure. Is it right now only?
yeah, blitz will begin in some time. But
Maybe after a break. Yeah,
yeah,
we decide.
you could take a break. And for what are they playing? Some amount or trophy only? Well, I think it's just an exhibition game, so nothing much.
They
Uh,
would definitely have money.
But just very quickly, let's have a look at a couple of things in this game. Like for example, the opening choice. First of all, very solid by Karpov. Nothing
Hmm.
spectacular. And then over here, I think everything was going as per plan. Queen b2 was a fine move, defending e2, stopping knight f4. And now suddenly Queen d2 after 15 minutes or what? I don't know, 13
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. That didn't look nice for sure. I think your idea of going for b5 immediately was important.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is what I would have played, and we should look at this in more depth later. But Queen d2, and then suddenly Nihal has everything working for him. Karpov was on the defensive, h5 looked good, knight h4 jumping in was good. And now after g3,
Yeah,
I,
here
I
I think
felt
we
like,
have to see if black could do something better than knight f3 for sure.
yeah, I was thinking, can you do this move? Queen g6. Because, or as you mentioned,
Knight
knight
f5.
f5.
But just simple knight f5. I like the queen right there on dark squares for now.
Hmm.
I'm not sure because where the queen should be. So knight f5 and then I have a lot of ideas
Yeah,
already.
one of them could be to take on d1 and play
Yes,
h4,
yes.
like take here
One of
and
them
play
could be to
h4.
take on knight into d4. I think right now already it's a threat. No, not yet. But something like that for sure.
Yeah. So, Piyush Patankar says, "Are you my wife?"
I think so.
Yes, she's my wife. She's a strong chess player. Her rating is currently 2-0, I think 7-0 or something around that mark, and her highest rating was 2199. She has been a former national champion, so definitely a strong player.
99.5 I would say.
Yeah,
Live.
okay, and I didn't like this knight f3 move
Yes.
by
So then
Nihal,
I think after
and
that
here
also not.
he did get his chances, by the way.
Yeah,
Here,
he did get at this point where yeah, until here it's still okay. But at some point, if G5 was an option, I don't know. In 10 seconds, it's really hard to make. I mean, then you have to take the risk, and
yeah.
then you have to also
Where did you
risk
say? I mean,
losing.
when actually when he played f3 and here this position, I thought, can he not play g5 now? But maybe the tides would be turned. You know, like if you take queen takes and then the rook could go to h1 and suddenly this becomes weak.
Not
And Nihal,
really. Rook H6, I have.
yeah, I know, but Nihal didn't really want to take any
Yeah,
chances
that's the whole thing.
in
But
this
he
game.
might, as you said, he might be more confident in Blitz
Yeah.
because he loves to play Blitz. In fact, he loves to.
Yeah, everyone says Nihal will win in blitz, but I
So,
think
hmm.
in rapid, Karpov holding it 1-1 against Nihal is a good result
So
for.
how much time will be the break right now
Okay,
for
it should
them?
be some break, so we'll come back in some
Mm-hmm.
time and join you. I think Amruta, thanks a lot for
Thank you.
joining in, and maybe we'll take a break. I'll just need to change this from, I don't know the colors of the game, so oops. Um, Blitz game 2, and maybe we make this for the next. I mean, thank you all for hanging in here, for being with us, for following our live analysis. If you enjoyed the show, then do let us know in the comments. And also there is a live super chat button. A lot of people have contributed today, over 10 people, quite some amount. Thank you so much for doing that. It shows that you appreciate our commentary. We are very um, appreciative of this fact. And yeah, we'll join you guys in some time. I think they're getting ready for the blitz. It'll take some time for sure for the blitz to begin, but we will be back before the game begins so as to keep you intact. Thank you all. Welcome everyone. We are back in the blitz portion of the game. Now we have Karpo who has the white pieces. So just let me get this sorted here. Okay, so this is game number one, and the game has begun. It's the same opening again. Well, nothing has changed, so let's follow the same stuff that was played. Takes here, take a3. So both players believe in their opening preparation here, but this time instead of bishop on e2, c6, knight f3, rook e8. Karpov went bishop d3 as a small improvement. Bishop f5 by Nihal was played. And castles, knight d7. So once again we are seeing not such an exciting game. This is 5 minutes plus 3 second increment. Blitz chess. Of course, Nihal is really good at blitz chess. We all know he's the reigning Asian blitz champion. That's already a big achievement for this youngster. Let's see how he does here. Okay, I think Karpov is taking his time, but now he's played rook f to c1 in this position. So Karpov is down to 4 minutes. Nihal has 5 minutes 18 seconds. So Nihal is playing really fast. Okay. Now rook f c1 and Nihal is now thinking for his move here. Well, I've seen Nihal playing Blitz, and he has the ability to find a lot of hidden tactics. At the same time, he's good at not blundering himself, and this is what I feel is the biggest difference right now between the two players, and why I feel that Nihal is the favorite in Blitz. By the way, for all those who like Akhil who's asking where is Amruta, well, Amruta will join in for the last game. She's taking a bit of rest. Quite tiring for us. We traveled from Mumbai to Pune today and then um, for doing this commentary. Yes, crushing victory of 13.5 in 2.5 of Carlson again Wesley So against Carlson in Fisher Random World Championship. So So is the Fisher Random World Champion now. Big news. But we'll focus on right now this game between Nihal and Anatoly Karpov. And what is Nihal thinking so much right now? He's not making his move after Rook FC1. He's trying to, I don't know what is he planning to do. Maybe just exchange the pieces and then exchange on d3 and play rook e6. Try to get the king side attack like last game. Yeah, bishop e4 is also a good move in this position. Maybe we are having some issues with the... No, it's not an issue with the live broadcast because Nihal is thinking for his move here. He's not played it, and finally he's played it. He's taken on d3 in this position. So take, queen takes, Karpov recaptures immediately. And Nihal is down to 2 minutes 43 seconds. So he thought for nearly 2.5 minutes. And now He played his queen to d6. He wants to get his knight to f6. Okay, now Karpo maybe go b4. This is a possibility. Yes, he does b4 here. And maybe black can go knight b6, knight c4. This is a common idea. But then knight b6 can be met with knight d2, stopping knight c4. So a6 first was played. And now a4 is not so easy to play because b4. Okay, maybe a4 is possible because if you play queen b4, I have rook f b1 and take. But as has been the trend in this game, no one is trying to play any sharp moves. Somehow both of them are a little bit apprehensive, and that's the reason why we have had no real attacking games as such. Yeah, a4 was played. Great. Karpov does play a4, and now Nihal can't take on b4 because of rook c b1 and take on b7. So rook e c8 by Nihal. And now b5 should definitely be considered in this position. Well, sometimes the common idea is to take, and then say you take, and play a5, and then you get a passer on the a file. This is possible, but let's see what Karpov does here. He doesn't play, maybe he will play b5. Still thinking here. It's 5 minutes plus 3 second increment. The rapid section ended in 1-1 draw. Both the games were drawn. And now we have two blitz games. Uh, let's see what happens here. Karpov still thinking for his move. Nihal is down to 2 minutes 19 seconds. Karpov has 2 minutes 54 seconds before this move, and now he's already thought for about 1 minute. So he's going to go down below now 2 minutes. What to play is the question. But you don't really think too much for in such simple positions in blitz chess. Yeah, SS Boss says, please Nihal, play your natural game. SS Boss. Yeah, Nihal should uh, play naturally, play aggressively, but somehow I guess the event has a little bit of more pressure on him. He's playing against such a living legend. Let's see what happens in the blitz. I guess Karpov has made his move here. He played knight to d2. Maybe some ideas like get the knight to c5. Yeah, and now Karpov is down to 1 minute 7 seconds, and Nihal has 2 minutes 19 seconds. We'll have to see how much time Nihal will think for his move. Yeah, and maybe Nihal could think at some point of playing b5, knight b6, knight c4, but b5 could be met right now not with a5 because b4 would hang. So yeah, why not? b5 maybe is a possibility here. Yeah, Nihal has a good time advantage, but now I think by thinking for so long, he's given that up. He's also down to 1 minute 6 seconds. He's played a5 here. 1 minute 6 seconds for Nihal and 1 minute 7 seconds for Karpov. So both down to 1 minute. Only 3 seconds increment per move. So that's going to be tough now. a5 he took. Rook takes and knight b3. I think white has a small edge here now. He's starting to push. He'll go a5, maybe then make this pawn a weakness. Let's see how it goes. Where does Nihal retreat? Rook a8, a5. Okay, pushing on, creating a weakness on b7. Knight c5, and this exchange. Put your rook here and then maybe try to get pressure down. This can be an idea. But Nihal doesn't let that happen. He immediately breaks with c5, some activity. I think Karpov is going to enjoy this. He will take on c5 here. Because you don't really want to allow c4. So, okay, there are moves like queen b5 possible, but I think Karpov will keep it simple. He'll take on c5. Nihal is down to 31 seconds. Karpov has 1 minute 6 seconds. And now he's thinking quite a lot. So, I mean, the player who has had more time has not really tried to keep his time advantage but has thought a lot. And that's why no one really has been able to make use of the time edge that they have. Yes, Karpov takes on c5, but after 40 seconds of thought. I don't know what was he thinking. Nihal takes. Now rook c5 was played. Sham Krishnan, again 100 rupees. Sham, that's amazing. Yeah, you. I don't know how much you have contributed today. I'm very grateful to you. Queen d2 was played, defending a5. And can Nihal play b6 here? Trying to get, but then okay, a6 exists. So queen d2 by rook a6. The idea is, of course, to play b6 and to win a pawn over there. G3. But what's your plan to b6? Ah, no, what do you want to do to b6? Okay, Nihal went g6, rook b1. So I guess again we'll have some kind of a draw because queen a5, take, yeah, rook b7. Okay, rook a2, rook d7, rook d2. Nothing special. Maybe just agree to a draw now, perhaps. Okay, Karpov may win a pawn, but even that is no big deal. Yeah, he just played rook a2, rook d5. And now, yeah, Karpov will press in this position. I'm not sure if he'll be able to break through here. Oops, sorry. So just take you to the. This is the position on the board now. Rook a2, king f3, rook a6, rook d5, f5. Let's not take that one. Rook d5, f5, h5. Well, Karpov's getting something here. King f6, g4, take, check, f4. Yeah, now this should be drawn. Rook a1, check here, king g6, king g7, rook g6, and ooh, king f7, and we reach this f and h pawns. Wow, this is supposed to be a draw, but this is no longer easy. I mean, no longer trivial stuff here. Scarpo has been able to create something out of nothing here. Rook a1, and Nihal knows he must keep his rook in that corner. But how easy is it to draw this position in blitz chess with just like few seconds on your clock? f5, rook a1, rook b7, king f6, rook b6. So just gaining some time. King f7. h7, rook h1, king g5, h7, rook h1, king g5, rook g1, king f4, rook f1, king f4, rook f1, king e5, rook e1, king f4, check, king g3. Yeah, king g7 now. Yeah, king g7, rook h6, king h8, king g4. What's happening here? Is this winning for white? I think check, king here, check, king here, check, king f6, rook a1, rook h2. Some kind of a very weird position. And now a few more moves have been played. I think I need to get the moves on the board because they're playing at really quick speed here. So yeah, rook h1. There's this nice trick by Nihal, who saw the stalemate and won the pawn. But this is a draw. I think king f7. Maybe not. King f7, king h6, f6, rook f1, rook h2, king g5, king g7. Oh my god. Just lost. Nihal has lost it. He resigns the game. Karpov has managed to beat Nihal in blitz. My god, that's a big result. Of course, this position here, I think after he won this pawn, king f7, I think this should be a draw. Um Not so easy to think, because how do you continue? Because this is the rook is somehow checking here. Need to get the rook out. King h6, f6, and with very little time on clock, this was already losing. Nihal lost, so now maybe when Nihal has white pieces in the next game, he's in a must-win situation. But Karpov has managed to bring out a win from a completely drawn endgame. So when we reach this position here, okay, this is still a pawn up, but when we reach here, we're like, why is even Karpov playing this? But Karpov is Karpov, yeah. He managed to still create a game which may end up in many books as to how not to play this rook endgame. The question is whether this position would be a draw, keeping the h6 pawn. Nihal sort of had confidence that he would draw against. This is a theoretical endgame, and he thought maybe he can hold this. And yeah, here he was able to get a nice stalemating idea. Can you do rook h1 right here? So anyway, yes, this could have been a better improvement, better version. Okay, rook a1, rook h2. Now he saw it. Took king f7. And now my question is how to save this, but maybe it's not possible. Okay. Whew, unbelievable, says Shatanik Mukuti. Also, a lot of people said, wow, and I guess this is what Karpov is about. Karpov is a genius in endgames and he's shown it. I think, yeah, we have to say that you have to give it to Karpov. Yeah, like this man who's 68 years old is fighting it out against a young boy playing blitz. Maybe he's not played a blitz game for years together, and he was able to beat Nihal just in the end game with completely drawn end game. I think this is not good news. Yeah, we're going to go to the Blitz game 2 next, and this time it will be Nihal who will have the white pieces, and he would be in a must win situation. I guess that's a good news for fans out there because now Nihal will go on the attack, hopefully, and he will try to beat Karpo. You will see the real Nihal perhaps for the first time in the match, where he plays aggressively. Of course, a lot of pressure on the youngster because he's playing a legend, living legend. So, um, yeah, we have some analysis here by Ayush. After King f6, Rook h1, Rook g6, Rook h6, King g5. Ah, nice, interesting line that was given, which was here. I think Rook h1, Rook g6. Yeah, because if you play King g6, I take and draw. Yeah, this is a draw. So you, I think the only move to keep the game going is this, and now Rook h6. Interesting move. And after King g5, you take Rook h7. Maybe this is not such a good idea. I guess I don't know. Rook end games are always very complicated, and Karpov has shown that he's still really good at this. So next game should begin very shortly. I think there won't be a big break. Uh, Players should uh, come back here. Nihal won't have too much time to recover from his games, from this loss. Yeah, if you have any question, uh, let me know in the comment section. Let's try to look at some questions by everyone who's here. Adiban teaches rook endgame in. I guess yeah. There is one endgame of Adiban playing against Swapnil Dopade where he was 2 points down and he holds this endgame. Yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, Sayan Roy, thank you so much for the analysis that you sent. Selma Varghese says, Nihal, please stay 1 year with Karpov and learn from the legend. Yeah, it's possible. Piyush Patankar says, where do you live in Pune? Do you give chess classes in Pune? I would like to meet you. Well, I live in Mumbai. I'm here for a few days in Pune, in Varje, but I don't give chess classes. I think this is where I would like to meet all of you online. Yes, on our YouTube channel. Yeah, 4 versus 3 has been explained in our channel, but it was a different structure as such, so it was not the same structure. By the way, the next game has begun, so let's cut the analysis here and let's begin. So this time Nihal is white, and it's just like the match. Yeah, Nihal is not ready to change his opening. He is playing the same thing again this time. Uh, I think he began with d4, knight f6. No, 1 second. How did it start? I think he went, yeah, d4 nf6 nf3 e6, d4 nf6 nf3 e6, and but we reach the same kind of uh, position, d4 nf6 nf3 e6, and then e3 c5 BD3, B6, one of Karpov's favorite systems, as I had mentioned in the first game. Castles, CD, ED, Bishop E7, C4, D5. Yeah, this has CD, and now this time we have more interesting position. Uh, CD, ED first. Sorry, how did it go? CD, ED, Bishop E7, not Bishop B7. C4, d5, cd, knight d5, Knight c3, bishop b7. Okay, interesting. And now knight takes c3. Oops, sorry. He took first here. Not so. Knight c3. Knight takes c3. B takes c3. Bishop b7. Knight e5 and castles. Okay, so we get this position. I guess this is again well known. Maybe a move like queen g4 or something is quite popular here. White gets some kind of an attacking chance on the king side. Yeah, this is the second and the last game of today evening. I hope that you guys get to see a win by Nihal here, because this is the last game for the day. Yeah, queen g4 was played. As I said, this is the main line. There are some attacking chances here for white. So queen g4, and somehow you have to play like f5 here or something like that. Not so sure. Mm, because bishop h6 can be an idea here, and of course you have to be careful uh, as black, and Karpov may not have brushed up on his theory here, so could be that he can fall into some trouble. No, this is the last game of this entire festival, I think. So today is this last game. Knight d7 I don't think is a good move. Let me think why. Yeah, this there should be something that I should be able to get here. Maybe knight queen h5 or something. Bishop f6 was played, and now look at how Nihal is trying to attack. Here he went first bishop f6, queen h3, threatening a mate on h7. So g6 and now knight g4. So Nihal is taking advantage of these now weak squares around the black king. Maybe he will get a good attack here. Finally. bg7. Now maybe bishop h6, f5. Uh, yeah, f5 is how black would want to defend now. Yeah, it creates a weakness on e6. Also e5 square gets a... So maybe bishop h6 is not bad. Yeah, here. So you give a check with the knight actually here. Knight h6, king h8. And bishop a3. Ooh. Nihal gets his bishop from the other end. I think Karpov missed this. Missed this for sure, and Nihal is winning an exchange. So 2-1 in Karpov's favor right now, but this win should equalize the score. Karpov gives up the exchange, and I guess Nihal has now things well sorted out. Let's see if he can convert this into a win. He can win an exchange. By the way, taking here is a bad idea, because although you save an exchange, the dark squares are so weak that it would end in a mate. So knight d7 was Karpov's practical choice, saying that okay, I'm just giving up my rook. Takes, and now knight g4, f5, knight e3. Nihal is good at converting good positions, but let's see today how he plays. Okay, knight e3, rook c8. and analyze knight f7 instead of bishop a3. Well, f7 maybe, but okay, this is interesting. By the way, interesting move suggested by one of the viewers. Rook c1. Let's first check here. Karpov move. Let's quickly go here. Take. And what happens if I take this, this, and this? Mate here and rook hanging. Queen g8 maybe. Only move. Somehow can be a good idea, but now it doesn't look good. So this is strong and solid. Yeah, like just go rook c1. Let's see what moves were made. Queen a3 by Karpov. Easy getting counterplay. Is the a2 pawn hanging? Also c3 is hanging. Well, it will be amazing if Karpov can hold this. It's completely He's completely worse in this position, but who knows? Okay, now Nihal thinking he has 2 minutes 52 seconds as compared to Karpov's 1 minute 19. So he's low on time, but also the thing is when you're winning, you just want to win it smoothly. But then sometimes you can't do it. You have to make things messy. And here, um, yeah, bishop c4 looks interesting, but then f4. Yeah, you have bishop e6. Yeah, maybe Nihal should play bishop c4 here. He goes knight c4. Okay. Now knight d6 will come if queen into a2. Queen e7. So Karpov goes back. And now just rook fe1, perhaps just play. Yeah, that's what Nihal does. Rook fe1. Get your rook to the open, half semi-open file. e6 is weak. So I guess this is, well, in blitz you can never say too soon what's happening, but I think definitely here Nihal should win. Bishop d5. c4 is hanging now, so decide. Knight e3, bishop b7. Karpov is, playing very practically. This is what he was well known for. He could play very practical chess, take back his pieces, repeat moves. He had all these nice, amazing arsenal. By the way, all those who would like to know Karpov better, just go to Chessbase India, chessbase.in website. In our online shop, type Karpov. You will find DVDs on him, books on him. You can know more about him. Yeah, Karpov has compensation here with the bishop pair, but when bishop b7, rook a d1. Sorry, he played. Yeah, bishop f1 was played. Queen d6, rook c d1. Okay. Knight f6. Right here. By the way, rook takes c3 would not have worked because of, I guess, knight f5. This was Nihal's idea. Okay, knight f6. And ooh, look at how the game ended. Karpov blundered big time here. Knight went to c4. And queen e7 was played. Knight e5, knight e4, and finally knight g6. And that leads to a 2-2 draw. One win for Karpov in blitz, one win for Nihal. And yeah, well, Nihal has managed to level the scores with this nice fork at the end. I would say Nihal was pressing in almost both the rapid games. If I'm not mistaken, let's go through it. By the way, uh, Bishop f1 instead of Bishop f5. Which position? Ah, you mean here? In this position, Nihal went Bishop f1, but instead he could play Bishop f5. Okay, possible, but I mean, when you are a piece up, I mean, when you are an exchange up, you don't really want to sacrifice something like this. This should be good, but I think what Nihal did was cool. He just got his knight to e5, and this is just winning, and then Karpov just missed this. Okay, so 2-2 draw. What do you feel like? Is this something where you should congratulate Nihal for this performance, or you should be saying, well, Nihal, that was not really a great result. So, what would you say? The final game, of course, Nihal played really well and won. But this was a very um, tense match here. 2-2 is the score, and Nihal has managed to draw it against the great Anatoly Karpov. But just to sort of summarize the entire match, it began with Nihal as with white pieces, uh, and and in this position, I think Nihal got a very good chance here after his opponent made this queen e6 move, knight g5, and suddenly you could see the attack here, dc5, and bishop coming in. And this is where I think he had his chance, but the game ended in a draw where I would say Nihal pressed quite hard in this endgame as well. This was a good display by Nihal, having a superior knight to an inferior bishop. But in the end, Karpov drew, showing his legendary endgame technique here by sacrificing his bishop and then getting his king here. The draw was agreed. In the second game, I think Nihal had excellent chances. If you look at it, this was the game. Bishop e2 was played, and here at this point, when Karpov thought for nearly 15 minutes or 13 to 14 minutes and played queen d2, I think it had shifted. The balance had shifted in Nihal's favor, and then he got an attack, but somehow he just played this knight f3, which I didn't like, just exchanging all the pieces. I think knight f5, keeping the knights and the minor pieces would have been better. Okay, and yeah, somehow Nihal had more chances in this game, as you can see here. He kept the queens. He was able to create some weaknesses around black's king, white's king here, but in the end, again a draw. So two rapid games were ended in a draw, and then we moved to the blitz, and in blitz again we saw the same line here with Nihal having black in the first game, and here instead of bishop e2 as in rapid, he went bd3. Karpov played bd3, and then we reached this end game here. I think white was doing well, and this was just a draw, but Nihal just messed it up, and with 4 versus 3, I think Karpov showed why he's such a great endgame player by winning this endgame. This should be a theoretical draw, but he managed to win this. Getting maybe Nihal's. I'm not sure. Just don't go here. Put your rook here and should be draw. He went rook h1 for this trick, but allowed the rook to come from the other end, and then white won this. But so Nihal was really livid with himself, 2-1 down. But he said, let's fight in this game, in the next game, and that he did. He played this move, knight c3, and this is good opening preparation. I'm not sure. Uh, Knight d7, what happens here? Perhaps queen h3, but bishop f6, and this was not good because now dark squares are weak, and Nihal had found this move with bishop a3 attacking the rook, and then f7 pawn is falling. So in this way he won an exchange, and went on to win the game. So guys, thank you so much for staying on with me until the very end. It's almost 1 a.m. in India, but it was so much fun to see 15-year-old Nihal fight it out against the legend Anatoly Karpov. Yeah, it's amazing to see how Nihal was better, and he didn't play up to his strength, I would say, but just imagine he could hold the match easily if he would be more aggressive, maybe a little less respectful of his opponent on the board. He could have maybe scored 2.5 here out of 4, or maybe even 3 points. Yeah, Sayan Roy says, please do live commentary more often. I'll do that. Thank you so much. Akhil Gopal, thank you, sir, from Kerala. Thanks a lot. Nilaksham, thank you. SS Boss, thanks for joining in. Harsh Jani says it was worth not to sleep. Yes, Harsh, thanks for that. Sayan Roy, please do session once a week. Yeah, I will try to do that. Uh, Shyam Krishnan, great work. Keep it up. Thank you all, by the way, who have contributed via super chat to us. Someone did it in euros, some in SEK, some in rupees. There were so many people. Shyam Krishnan contributed so heavily throughout. Maybe he did it 3 to 4 times. Thank you so much for that. And the last fork actually picks up both the queen and the rook. Yes, just to show you what happened here. Knight e4 takes. There's a fork. King g8. If he plays, then he also wins. So yeah, that was a nice end. Oops. The knight is going wayward. I am too sleepy, I guess. Can't make the arrows well. Yeah, just to yes, Naveen Balasubramaniam, as always, big fan. Thank you so much, Naveen. Chinmay Joshi, love from Gujarat. Thanks, Chinmay. Subradeep Ghosh, thank you. Good night. Aryan Goswami, great analysis. Thanks, Aryan. Sudeep Banerjee, thanks for such a nice commentary. Thanks, Sudeep. Funny Verma, great work. Thank you, Funny. Surya Prakash Gandhi Kota, great work, Sagar. Thank you, Surya. Selma Varghese, awesome commentary. Thank you so much, Selma. Manik Shah, respect to the opponent is not always good. Agreed, Manik. SS Bose, thanks for your effort. Thank you so much. Preeti Tayal, are you coming to take interview in Delhi Open? I think I will come in Delhi Open in January. Rohan Kaushik, who resigned, well, Karpov resigned. The score is 2-2 in the match. Harsh Jani, sir, you need sleep? Yes, for sure. Just going to go to sleep now. Mrinal Shah, loved it. See you soon. Yes, Mrinal, thank you for joining in, and I will see you in Kolkata like last year. Got some knowledge. See you in the next session. Says Lokesh Verma. Thank you, Lokesh Kumar. Thanks, Lokesh. SS Boss says, from today I'm your daily viewer. Well, thank you, SS. That would be nice. Amit Bhuvan, good work, sir. Thank you, Amit. Piyush Patankar, thanks, Sagar, sir. You keep inspiring us, and thanks, Piyush, for joining in. Arkodeep Datta, thanks a lot. Good night, excellent commentary, says Ronak Guha. Thank you, Ronak. Death Reaper, Magnus lost. Yes, big news for today. Magnus lost in the Fisher Random World Championship. Wesley So is the world champion in Fisher Random. Amazing. Preeti Tayal, please shout out to Dedo. Shout out Dedo. Okay, Preeti Tayal. Okay. Shout out to you. Um, Okay, and so guys, that's all for today. See you soon, and if all of you enjoyed the commentary, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel. I think most of you are subscribers, but if you haven't, please do so. And if you like to contribute, you can always do so via super chat. There's a button, a dollar button down there. This is Sagar Shah signing off, and I'll be back soon with more live sessions.